Yo, what's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and we've got a bunch of news and rumors to get to on today's show. Daniel Jones, are the Giants moving on from him? Is J.J. McCarthy at the top of the New York Giants draft board? And a whole lot more to discuss on today's show here on a Thursday afternoon. Appreciate everybody for stopping by and showing love. We've got a whole bunch of new subscribers on the channel, so I want to know where everybody is watching from. Shout out your city. Where are you watching from? Already 85 people in the building. That number will continue to go up and up as we stay live. I want to know where the real ones are tapping in from, because in the offseason, in February, that's where the real ones step up to the plate. It's easy to be a fan in the fall when your team's got a winning record. Or it's easy to be a fan in the offseason when your team is linked to every single person in the rumor mill and you think they're going to draft inside the top 3. But man, oh man, the Giants, this may be a boring offseason, but the real ones are still here. My guy Mark Estrada tuning in from Cali. What's up, man? Eric Cruz is in Philly. Protect yourself, man. The Big Moo is in the building. What up, man? Michael is tuning in from Buffalo. My guy LTD, Lewis Tank Dickens. What up? Repping for Jersey. Let's go Giants is in Phoenix. Crazy Dad, South River. Fabs 48, New York City. Let's go. Shout out to everybody in the building. London. We got a little London piece in here. Let's ride. Patrick Perry's in Kentucky. Roosters in Cali. John Nitty is in Dallas. What's up, man? Mamadou Canty is in Virginia. And Antoine Toppin is in Arkansas. My man. We already got our first super chat of the day coming in from the one, the only Lumbagus coming in. He says, trade up for a quarterback. We're actually going to be talking about that on today's show, Lumbagus. We're talking about the NFL draft. We have quotes from the New York Post. We have quotes from Jordan Renan of ESPN. And the Giants may have had the New York Post beat reporter kind of reveal what their plans are going to be for the quarterback position. It is going to be a lot of fun in today's show. I'm excited about this one. Also, we're going to talk about Brandon Aiyuk on this channel, because last offseason I told you guys Brandon Aiyuk was going to request a trade. Fast forward 12 months. Some guy up here that has a widow's peak was right about that one when everyone told me he was going to be wrong. But he was right. He usually is. So shout out to that guy, whoever he is. We'll talk about Aiyuk. But we also have some awesome Super Chat deals going on. In the month of February, we kind of wanted to spice some things up. I know it's easy to disconnect from the National Football League at this point, and that's why I wanted to show some love to the real ones. So every $10 Super Chat that you send in the month of February, we're going to put you in a raffle to win this custom Giants Now football. You will be deemed the February 2024 MVP. Every $10 Super Chat is one raffle ticket. Also, if you send in a $50 Super Chat, you're going to get a sticker on our brand new New York Giants helmet, a sticker with your initials, and you'll also get a ticket in our bang race. Whoever sends in the most $50 Super Chats this month, you are going to be our MVP of the month, and we're going to get you a custom New York Giants Now jersey. So if you want to compete for the Giants Now football, a $10 Super Chat will get you into that raffle. And if you want to be the bang god of February, whoever sends in the most $50 Super Chats, you will get a custom New York Giants Now football. Sam Brown liked that one. Sam Brown in the studio today. Shout out to Sam Brown.
I'm happy to be back. It's been a long time since I've been on Giants Now.
One of the first producers of Giants Now with me. Actually, the first producer.
I think I was, yes. Honored and humbled, by the way, to have that honor. I just didn't realize that we're crowning bang gods here on the channel, which is, I'm all for it. It's just that was my honest reaction. I didn't realize that's the vibe we're going for here today.
I will never forget the first video I did on New York Giants Now with Sam Brown producing. I start off at Chat Sports. I'm just a guy that does a bunch of stuff behind the scenes. Then we need a Giants channel. And Sam Brown's getting ready to produce for me. And then our COO, Brett Scott, comes and sits in there. And I'm like, look, Brett, you're making me nervous, man.
Yeah.
I got to get you out of here. I'm already nervous as shit. Brett, if you could leave, I'll be able to film this video. He left it, we filmed it, and
sure enough, crushed it as soon as he walked out of the room. It's weird how that goes.
Oh, yeah. Boss made me nervous. I was sweating. But yeah, shout out to you guys. Almost at 50,000 subscribers on this channel. Shout out to you guys. Here's our deals of the day. And also, deal of the day is, if we get to $200 in Super Chats, Marshall Green, Patrick Seatman, and Sam Brown are going to have to compete in a punt pass kick contest. And I'm pretty sure I'm going to smoke them all.
I want you guys to know now, Marshall has no idea how to kick a football. He has no idea how to punt a football. Of the 3 people he listed there, only one of them played soccer growing up. He also has the second best arm in the office behind Marshall Green. The 2 best arms in the office are currently sitting in this room right here, right now.
Giants now has 2 great arms. There's a lot of arm talent on this show.
There's a lot of talent. It's all about the mental side of things for us.
Oh, man. So $200, we'll do a punt passing kick competition. We'll include Seeps as well, as he is out of town. Before we dive into today's show, though, I got to give a huge shout-out to our sponsor, Game Time, the #1 ticketing app in the game. So download the app. It's called Game Time. Just open your app store, type in Game Time, download it, and you can save yourself $20 off with promo code GIANTSCHAT20. GIANTSCHAT20 is the promo code. Best seats, lowest prices guaranteed. Prices drop as the events get closer. It's promo code GIANTSCHAT to get $20 off. Download the Game Time app. And it's not just for NFL games. You can get Knicks tickets. You can get Rangers tickets. Yankees tickets will be coming up soon. You can go to theater events, concert, plays, and so much more. Check them out. Use the promo code GIANTSCHAT. Get $20 off. Download the Game Time app. Redeem the code. Be a real one. Support the show. Support the sponsor. Shout out to Game Time. I'll make sure all that information is clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. Shout out to the real ones. We are going to be talking about Brandon Aiyuk on the show today. There's been a lot of smoke about what his future is going to be in San Francisco, if there even is going to be one. And if you've been a subscriber to this channel for quite some time, I talked about Brandon Aiyuk as a top trade target for the Giants last offseason. So I want to hear this. Name a free agent wide receiver you want the Giants to sign, or a guy that you want the Giants to trade for. We'll show you later on in the show who the top 10 wide receivers are going to be in NFL free agency. There's some good ones, no doubt about it. You're talking about guys like Mike Evans, T. Higgins, your boy Odell Beckham Jr. is going to be there. There's going to be a lot of really good players available in free agency. My #1 guy I want the Giants to sign, if they do go that route, is Calvin Ridley. Calvin Ridley is my #1 free agent target at the receiver position. As my guy Mark Estrada coming in with a $2 super chat says, defense if X and AJ are not on the team, competitive. If Xavier McKinney and Adoree Jackson are not going to be on the Giants next year, their defense will take a little bit of a step back when it comes to talent. But that does not always mean that their production is going to take a step back. I actually like the talent and the players and the makeup of the roster on the defensive side of the football for the New York Giants. I've come to, or maybe I've just spoken myself into this spot where I like Shane Bowen. I like what he's about. I like the mentality, and I like the way he operates on game days. Maybe I've just spoken myself into liking that, but I have some high hopes for the Giants defense next year. Kayvon Thibodeau hopefully takes a step. Bobby Okereke gets back. I'm looking for him to make a big step next year. Shout out to Mark Estrada. The Bronx boy coming in with a $10 super chat. He is in the raffle to win our Giants Now custom football. You won't find this on the shelf anywhere. That's why you want to compete and try to win here. My man, the Bronx boy, what's up? He says, been missing this so much. I've been jumping in Knicks watch parties. Off-season blows. Yeah, the off-season is definitely not as fun as the regular season. But we try to keep you guys informed. We try to entertain. We try to have fun. We're trying to be your #1 spot to watch Giants games. My man, the Bronx boy, has been tuning in to all of the Knicks streams. If you're missing that New York Giants watch party feel, check out Knicks Now by Chat Sports. It's just as good. I think Bronx boy can vouch for that. As we got my guy Cha coming in with a $50 super chat. Bang! It's safe to say right now, Sam Brown, that my guy Cha, Mr. Rick, He is officially the Bang God right now of February. He is number one in the ranks.
That's an honor that I think many would fight tooth and nail to get.
How do you think Mrs. Cha feels about
to be declared the Bang God, where you go, you know those little name tags when you're like at a convention or something? It says, "Hi, my name is Bang God." I mean, you walk around the streets of New York like that, you're a king. You might as well be the mayor.
Does Mrs. Cha love that Mr. Cha is the Bang God?
She's the Bang Goddess. It works out. It's a family business.
We love Mr. and Mrs. Rick so much. Thank you guys for always supporting the channel. The first sticker going on this helmet as this Sharpie absolutely blows.
LTD's got the right message, by the way. He's typing in cha-cha-cha. Can we spam a bunch of chas in the chat?
Get the chas going.
Cha in the chat.
I need a better Sharpie. This Sharpie's like Daniel Jones. It doesn't frickin' work. So I'm going to ask someone to bring a Sharpie. Can someone bring a good Sharpie to I definitely misspelled that. I threw an F in there somehow. Not sure, but it's in there. Hopefully they
Shafrapi.
Oh.
How did you even get close to the F? Oh, typing the R. Maybe.
Yeah, I was just going too fast. Mr. Rick says, put my sticker on the helmet. Mr. Rick, you are going to be the first sticker on the helmet, and you're in line at the number one spot to win our custom New York Giants now jersey.
By the way, another thing to point out, there's a new feature on YouTube where the audience can like everyone's super chats whenever they send them in. Whenever someone sends in a super chat, be sure to like him too. Show him you got his back. Cha's got 5 on him. Bronx Boy has 4 on his super chat. And hopefully we can get some more likes on this next one coming up here.
Show some love to the fellow real ones. Mr. Rick, we love you, man. As my guy, Let's Go Giants, coming in with a $10 super chat. What's going on, man? Shout out to Jesus. Oh, body catch. Body catch. Hopefully one of these works.
10 fingers, please. No body.
Oh, Jace Andrews, thank you, sir.
No breadbasket catches allowed.
Nobody knows a good Sharpie better than Jace Andrews. I think this one's broken. And this is the extra one. Through the net. Oh, I don't know if you didn't see that. The door was closed to a sliver. And I fit that Sharpie up in there. I told you, Sam.
You said, I don't know if you guys saw that.
You didn't. You didn't see it. But this right here, I fit that thing through a hole. There's a lot of arm talent in this studio today, Sam Brown. A lot of arm talent. That's all I'm going to say.
The 2 biggest arms, and we're $126 away from putting it really to the test.
Oh, man. There is nothing more than I would like to not just beat. The thing I want to do most in life is beat Patrick Seaton in a punt passing kick competition. But I do want to beat Sam Brown as well. He doesn't want this.
I will say, if we manage to make this happen, if the Giants fans can make this happen for us, we will
film a video and we will post it on the channel.
I will take it more seriously than I've taken just about everything in my job here.
Well, we don't take our job serious.
It depends on the day. Does it end in a Y? Maybe I will.
Mr. Rick, you're the first sticker on the helmet, my man. You're in first place for the Bang competition. Shout out to you. We appreciate it. All I'm saying is I may have a little bit of an injured wing, but I will literally fight through a torn rotator cuff to win this competition. I'm down. Bronx Boy says, I'm in ShopRite and people look at me weird. I just don't even know what you got going on there, brother. I don't know. Carl says Marshall should start next season. I'll tell you this much. You won't be picking much lower in the draft than you are this year if I was the quarterback. It may be first, but it'll be really close to 6. So let's ride. We are going to get to a mailbag to close today's show. So if you want your questions featured on our mailbag that's going to go out on the channel this weekend, get your questions in, #Giants or Super Chat to skip the line. All Super Chats that are applicable to the Giants will be featured on the show today. We already got 170 people watching. If you please could, hit that thumbs up icon. Maybe once we get to like 68 likes or something, we'll start today's show. You cool with that?
That feels fair. I'd even go for the age-old favorite of getting 69.
Shout out to you guys. If you haven't yet, please hit the thumbs up icon. If you have and you want to type me, I'd appreciate that because I like to know who the real ones are. I like to show love to the people that show love to us. I got you, Bronx Boy. I got you. Nope. What's good, bro? He says, what's going on there, bud? Mustang JMS says, Drake May falling or we're getting neighbors. I have heard a lot about Drake May falling down draft boards. He's definitely going to be in the sights potentially for the New York Giants. This Sharpie is like Daniel Jones. It doesn't work. Marshall Green, 2024. I did say that. That might have been a little bit mean. But you know what? In the offseason, Sam, in the regular season, they can tell me to be optimistic on my watch parties.
I'm sorry, but I'm not apologizing.
I'm not.
That's the way you have to. That's the way you have to take it.
In the offseason, I get to tell you what I truly feel about this team.
People don't love the cold, hard truth at times. It can be a nice little slap in the face, especially if the cold, hard truth is about you. You know what I mean? So hopefully there are some Giants potentially watching the show today. Maybe we can learn a thing or two together as a team.
I love this comment from Steven 2015. He says, last year, dude does video about DJ's contract saying he deserved it, then shows his stats. He shows the rushing numbers and says this is what makes Jones a top quarterback. Agreed. I thought he did deserve it. But I'll tell you this. What happens if you have a wife and you marry her? That's why she's your wife. You marry her. And Sam, for the first year, she's a great wife. But then in year 2, and you married her because she's faithful. But in year two, she cheats on you. Is she still faithful, or should I update my opinion?
I think it's fine to update.
Okay. So once you say something, you're allowed to update your opinion when more information becomes available.
Especially if that information is more relevant.
Oh, okay. So if I thought Daniel Jones was good 12 months ago, I don't have to think he's good for the rest of my life.
I won't lie. I didn't think Daniel Jones was good 12 months ago, and I still don't think he is. But I don't blame you for having that optimism and having that.
Exactly.
I don't want to say false security, but as an outsider, I'd like to say I told you so.
Says if my wife burns a few meals, that doesn't mean she's a bad cook. This man burned more than a few meals. But I get your point.
That's like if she was on her way to becoming Gordon Ramsay and all of a sudden turned into the McDonald's fry cook.
How expensive were the meals she burned? Were they $90 million expensive?
Good point.
Are these nice bone-in ribeyes that cost $100 a steak?
People aren't talking enough about it.
Or are we talking about those thin little New York strip steaks that are terrible? Look, the point is, yes, I thought Daniel Jones deserved the contract. He won a playoff game. I appreciate it. And then he had his worst season in the National Football League. I feel like I am allowed to change my opinion. If you want me to have the same opinions every day, that'd be pretty fucking boring. My man Rob Jigga coming in with a $10 super chat. What's up, man? He says, my 3 draft suggestions at 6. Joe Alt, Malik Neighbors, or Jared Verse out of Florida State. Marshall, you agree with this. Real and for life. Sam Brown, Jared Verse is a name that I have seen shooting up draft boards. He's a really good edge rusher, and when you're an edge rusher in a class that doesn't feature a lot of top guys, you could find yourself being selected higher than you probably should.
So funny enough, I think he was in those spots really at the start of the season. Got off to a little bit of a slow start with Florida State, then turned it on late and showed off why he was in that spot. So I remember back last year, I was like, hey, everyone was saying, hey, this will be the top edge. There was the whole news about him going back to Florida State to begin with. So I think he'll wind up being the first edge off the board unless someone falls in love with Latu out of UCLA and all the flashy trades.
No, Verse is climbing up boards, and like you said, preseason, he was expected to be a top 10 pick, kind of slid back, and now those traits in that film, he's starting to pop off it. Look, you never have too many edge rushers. I wouldn't be mad if they did that, but as you guys know, I'm a Joe Alt or maybe another quarterback that we may talk about on today's show. I'm quarterback or Joe Alt at 6. Those are my 2 picks. Parker Walters, what's up, man? DJ going to elevate the team. Don't sleep. Parker, I hope you're right. If Daniel Jones is going to be the quarterback for the New York Giants, I want him to do a good job. Because the best way and the fastest way for the Giants to be good is for Daniel Jones to be good. But my eyes will not let me believe anymore that he is a good quarterback. I have to see it some more. I don't believe he can operate a explosive offense. We'll show you some stats from my guy Justin Pennick on Talking Giants. He put a really good stat breakdown out on Twitter. I'll show you that on today's video. It just, for me, it boils down to this. Is Daniel Jones better than Brock Purdy? The answer is no.
Hell no.
Brock Purdy is better than Daniel Jones. And Sam Brown, Brock Purdy couldn't win a Super Bowl with the second best coach in the National Football League, the best weapons in the National Football League, the best defense, and the best roster. And Daniel Jones is not even close to as good as Brock Purdy. The Giants will never win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. Move on.
It turns out that the end-all, be-all, more than anything, is having the better quarterback.
Agreed.
Now, Granted, having Patrick Mahomes is like a different level. There's having a better quarterback, and then there's just playing against Patrick Mahomes in the playoffs. But I think that makes perfect sense, your argument right there. Brock Purdy had all the pieces around him on offense outside of an iffy offensive line.
But still, maybe the best left tackle in the past 10 years.
Yes,
Trent Williams.
not maybe. Boomer Sooner, OU legend. He is the best left tackle of the past 10 years. So it's not as though it's Patrick Mahomes, whose best wide receiver was a rookie, and before that, his number one receiver was Juju Smith-Schuster. Like, quarterback elevates the players around him more so than the players around him elevate the quarterback.
Exactly. The dude had Deebo Samuel. He had Brandon Aiyuk, George Kittle. Jawan Jennings almost won the Super Bowl MVP. He is the best running back in the league. He's got the most talent of anybody surrounding him, and he still couldn't get it done. In 2024, the NFL is a quarterback-driven league. So that's why I'm moving on from Daniel Jones. But I understand why anyone wants to keep him. I don't understand, but I will respect the people that say they want to keep him around. My man Joey DeLuca coming in with $1 super chat. Joey, we appreciate you, man. You hear every show on Giants. You hear every show on Knicks. An absolute real one. Just stop rizzing up the ladies in the chat, my man. Save some for the rest of us. My man Brian coming in with a $10 super chat. What up, Brian? You are entered into our raffle to win this Giants Now custom football. He says, what do you want the Giants to do in free agency? I want them to invest in the offensive line. I need at least bare minimum one offensive line starter signed to this football team. I'd also like to see them sign an edge rusher. I mean, you lay out the biggest needs for this team. Quarterback, receiver, offensive line, edge rusher. My finger doesn't go up when I do it like this. And DB. In DB. That is what I would like. Obviously, you can't address all those needs in free agency. You have to some in the draft. But in free agency, I would like to see a veteran-proven offensive lineman that will come in and be good. No risk. Come in and be a starter. That's what I want the most in NFL free agency. Rob Jigga, what up, man? Marshall, if the Giants go after recently released Cody Whitehair or that right tackle from the Raiders, is Joe Alt still an option at 6? The Giants should at all cost avoid Cody Whitehair. He is not a good football player anymore. He should probably retire. So I would stay away from Cody Whitehair. When it comes to Jermaine Illuminor, the right tackle, Sam Brown, I got into my sources bag a little bit in Las Vegas when I was there. People were, like, Marshall, you're not a source guy. Well, I will tell you this. Directly from the source, you can determine who the source is. Directly from the source, the Giants are very interested in signing Jermaine Illuminor. I have heard that directly from the source.
I can concur from my prior experience.
You were also in Las Vegas, Sam Brown.
This is a valid source.
This guy, the source that we have, knows exactly what Jermaine Illuminor is thinking.
That is correct.
Okay. So maybe you can infer, maybe you can't connect the dots, but trust me, the Giants have a very, very strong interest, and from what I've heard, have already started the negotiations with Jermaine Illuminor, who comes from the Raiders O-line coach, and now the Giants O-line coach.
Whoa. Very loud.
So, yeah. Everyone, Marshall, you don't have sources. Okay.
By the way, great questions from Brian and Rob Jigga. Are you cool if those are the first 2 questions on the mailbag later on in the show? If you send in any other super chats.
Thing is, I don't get to decide that. Sam Brown does.
It's funny how that works out. Okay. Brian and Rob Jigga, you guys are the first 2 questions of the mailbag. Any super chats with questions that come in after them, y'all are going to be the next questions up, as long as they're not dumb questions.
Yeah, as long as they're not weird.
Sorry to be rude.
We're going to get into the mailbag. Give me 20 seconds. I just want to answer the Bronx Boys question. He says, guesstimate how much it'll be. I will tell you what Pro Football Focus has. They have him at a 2-year deal, $14.5 million total, $9 million guaranteed, so an average of $7.25 million for Jermaine Illuminor. I think it's a pretty fair price. And to answer your question, does that take us out of the Joe Alt sweepstakes? I would say no, but it may lower the chances of it. First segment, Daniel Jones. Let's do it. Let's talk Daniel Jones and what we're hearing about his future with the New York Giants. We're at exactly 69 likes. As nice as that is,
fuck yeah.
We should be at 123 likes because we have 246 people watching. Can we get a 50% participation rate? Please hit the thumbs up icon.
The goal I'm setting it at is 138.
138.
69 times 2. Takes 2 people.
I love that. I love that. Hit the thumbs up icon. Find your seats, and let's talk some New York Giants football. Did Paul Schwartz of the New York Post reveal the plan of Joe Schoen for the New York Giants when it comes to Daniel Jones and his future with this football team? Some juicy rumors coming up around the corner. But first, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Don't miss out on any Giants offseason news and rumors. We put out free, informative, entertaining, passion-driven content 365 days a year. So subscribe, turn your notifications on so you don't miss a thing this offseason. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Let's get into it. Paul Schwartz of the New York Post, longtime New York Giants insider. I think he revealed what Joe Schoen's plan is for the next year's QB spot on this football team. Let's go directly into the quote. No need to waste time. He said this: there is plenty of doubt about the Giants' plan to start Daniel Jones at quarterback to open the 2024 season, as long as his surgically repaired right knee is healed. The reaction to that plan is often eye rolls. The Giants understand Daniel Jones is a medical concern. So you have Paul Schwartz of the New York Post saying this. And then you had Jordan Renan of ESPN come out with an article on Thursday where he said the Giants will add a QB this offseason. And grabbing one early in the draft is at the very least on the table, if not the preference. So Paul Schwartz, who would not report anything unless he was sure on it, pretty much just told you the Giants are going to add a guy, and they know and they believe that Daniel Jones is injury prone. And then Jordan Renan, one of the most credible Giants beat reporters, is saying they are going to add a franchise quarterback. But that's not it. We got more quotes. This is my take on it, though. It would be irresponsible for Joe Schoen to just blindly roll with Daniel Jones as a starting quarterback for next year. He has 9 missed games in his career with a neck injury, and he's also coming off a torn ACL. One, there is no certainty that he's going to be ready to go, but also, I think it's fair to say, the guy is brittle. He's broken down. Can he stay healthy? Yes. But he's proven that he's also going to miss games every single year, has never played a full season as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. Would have done that in the year they made the playoffs, but he did not start in Week 18 against the Philadelphia Eagles. Will Jones be ready to go Week 1? That's a whole different conversation. He tore his ACL in Week 9. So let's compare his timeline to other timelines that quarterbacks have been on after they tore their ACL. You look at Kyler Murray, he tore it in Week 14. He didn't return till the following year till Week 10. Joe Burrow, one of the quicker turnarounds, tore it in Week 11, was ready to go Week 1. Jimmy Garoppolo took pretty much 365 days. That Deshaun Watson timeline, though, back in 2017, is the exact same timeline that Daniel Jones is on. And I'm sure he'd be ready to, hopefully be ready to go Week 1. But there's no guarantee that he will be ready to rock and roll when the 2024 season gets kicked off. I know, and we all know, that Daniel Jones is one of the hardest working players in the league. He's going to attack his rehab, and he's going to do everything he can when it comes to his rehab to be ready to go Week 1. But there's no guarantee that he will be. And I think it's also a little bit concerning when you just move on from the injury stuff and you focus on the football field and what happened in between the white lines last year. Daniel Jones was the 3rd best quarterback to play for the Giants. Tommy DeVito was better, and Tyrod Taylor was better. $40 million for Daniel Jones. $1.5 million, or about $6 million for Tyrod Taylor, and less than $1 million for Tommy DeVito. You should notice a major difference when the $40 million quarterback subs out. Thing is, the offense got better when Taylor and DeVito were in the game. End all be all, bottom line right here. You cannot win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. Is Daniel Jones better than Brock Purdy? The answer is no. And Brock Purdy could not win a Super Bowl with the best running back in the league, two of the best wide receivers in the league in Deebo Samuel and Brandon Aiyuk, the second best tight end in the league in George Kittle, one of the best offensive lines in the league, and one of the top 3 defense in the National Football League, on top of having the second best coach in this league. You need someone elite. You need someone great. You need an elevator at the QB position. Daniel Jones is just simply not that guy. And this stat right here from Justin Pinnock of Talkin' Giants, another great Giants show on YouTube and all podcast platforms. Check him out. Justin does awesome work. Going to read this. A little bit lengthy, but just listen. So he started saying, since the stat I tweeted last week was misleading and dishonest, let's break it down further. Daniel Jones played in weeks 1 through 5, not counting week 9 since he got hurt early. Daniel Jones had 7 pass plays of 20-plus yards when the game margin was between 0 and 21 points. He had 0 pass plays of 20-plus yards in the first quarter. The Giants had a total of 10 pass plays of 20-plus yards in week 1 through 9. 9 from Jones, 1 from Tyrod Taylor. That was tied for 27th in the NFL during that span. Week 6 through 8, they had 9 pass plays of 20-plus yards, tied for 14th. This includes one game where Brian Daboll refused to throw the ball versus the Jets. Weeks 11 through 18, they had 14 pass plays at 20-plus yards, ranking 12th in the NFL during that span. Like Justin says, and like I agree exactly, I have very little faith Daniel Jones can operate an explosive offense at this point in his career. And it goes deeper than the stats. The New York Giants put more on Daniel Jones' plate this year. They went out and got him a big play wide receiver in Jalen Hyatt. They got him an experienced veteran tight end in Darren Waller. They signed a guy like Paris Campbell. He had the most talent around him at skill position spots in his career. And he had the worst season of his career. The Giants have a massive gash on their arm. It needs stitches. And right now, they have a little Band-Aid on it. It's time to rip the Band-Aid off, sew up the wound, move on, and start the healing process. You are never, ever, ever going to win a Super Bowl with Daniel Jones. So we are just wasting time with him at the quarterback position. I want to ask you this question, though. A little game of over and under. Place your bets. 8.5 games started for Daniel Jones this season. Over or under? Will he start more than 8.5 games or less than 8.5 games? Oh, for over, you for under. Let me know what you think down below. Coming up next, we have a report from Paul Schwartz that the New York Giants are going to be bringing in real competition in the offseason for Daniel Jones. Not just sign a backup quarterback. The exact quote was that they are going to bring in someone that is more than a longtime starter. This was the quote. The Giants will add a quarterback in free agency who is seen as more than a career backup, and they are considering all sorts of scenarios to add a QB in the draft. Wait, so we want to bring in someone that's not a backup, and we may still draft someone in the first round? Is this the best day of my life? Is this happening? Are the Giants actually moving on from Daniel Jones? Thank you. Someone listen. Someone out there listen to me. Thing is, not a lot of free agent QBs are at the starting level in the free agent target department. We'll show you the top 5 guys I believe the Giants will be targeting in free agency as potential QB options. But first, I got to tell you guys about our proud sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app. Go to the App Store, type in Game Time, and get the best ticketing app in the game. Best seats for the lowest prices guaranteed. Prices drop as the events get closer. And like I said, it's the lowest prices guaranteed. And if you use promo code GiantsChat, you're going to get $20 off. You might be saying, well, Marshall, the Giants season is over. It's been over for quite some time. And it has. It ended a lot earlier than we all anticipated. But you could still buy tickets to Giants games, Rangers games. The Mets and Yankees are coming back. You can go to concerts. You can go to plays. You can go to theater events and so much more. Check them out. The Game Time app. Promo code GiantsChat. Get $20 off. My favorite feature about the app, though, is when you're buying your tickets, you get to see what the venue will look like from your seat in the arena. Check them out. Game Time. Promo code GiantsChat. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's video. Shout out to Game Time, for sponsoring Giants Now. Alrighty. So the top 2 quarterbacks entering NFL free agency in my opinion, are Kirk Cousins, formerly of the Minnesota Vikings, and Baker Mayfield of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't think any of these guys, or either of these two guys, are going to be a good quarterback for the Giants. Kirk Cousins, way out of the Giants' price point, and I think Baker Mayfield is going to be a Tampa Bay Buck. So who are the guys that Paul Schwartz was talking about as veteran quarterbacks that are viewed more so than longtime backups? What does that tell me? They're looking for guys that were once starters. And who's the guy in free agency that meets the Giants' timeline and has started a lot of games? The number one option, in my opinion, according to this information, is Ryan Tannehill. Ryan Tannehill is a guy that fits the mold of what the New York Giants want. I actually think Ryan Tannehill and Daniel Jones are very similar quarterbacks. And one of my best friends is a Tennessee Titans fan, and I'll look at him all the time when we're talking. I'm like, are the Giants and the Titans just the same organization at this point? A lot of similarities there. Point is, Tannehill, still a decent to above average quarterback, would be able to push Daniel Jones in camp. You look at what he's done over the past couple of seasons, he's definitely his best days are behind him. Like, let's just be honest. Ryan Tannehill's best days are behind him, but he was still had some decent games the last couple of years. I really liked what he did in 2021 after he had his best season of the year in 2020. Not really that guy anymore. 2022, though, 13 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 94.6 quarterback rating. This past year, completed 64% of his passes, 4 touchdowns, 7 picks. Look, he's not going to come in here and win you a Super Bowl. But can he at least come in and have to make Daniel Jones earn the job? And if Jones struggles, you can hand it over to a veteran that's appeared in playoff games like Jones. How much would it cost? Pro Football Focus has his contract projection at 2 years, $11 million total with $10 million guaranteed. I think that is more than fair for the Giants. Another guy that I thought really fit this criteria of being more than just a backup is Gardner Minshew, considering he started a large portion of the season for the Indianapolis Colts, and he got him into the playoffs. Completed 62% of his passes this year, almost 3,500 yards through the air, a 15 touchdown to 9 interception season, and a quarterback rating just shy of $85 million. I think Minshew might be a little bit more expensive, though, than the Giants are willing to pay. Pro Football Focus has his contract projection at 2 years, $17.5 million total, with $9 million guaranteed. I think that may be a little bit more than what the Giants are trying to pay, but he's definitely an option, and he fits that mold. One of my guys, I'm calling him one of my guys, that I think makes a lot of sense is Jacoby Brissett. He was a backup for the Washington Commanders last year, but I think he's one of the more underrated quarterbacks in the National Football League. We'll show you his stats with the Cleveland Browns in a second, but I want to look at his 2023 stats. There's not a lot of them. He only played in 2 games. In fact, he didn't even start those games. He came in the fourth quarter when the games were out of reach for Washington. And then Brissett went in and he balled out. And he almost brought them back in both games. In the fourth quarter of Week 14 at the Los Angeles Rams, he had 8 completions on 10 attempts, 123 yards and 2 touchdowns on 16 snaps. And then in Week 15 against the Jets, he went 10-13, had a really good game as well, and almost brought them back in that one. He showed you he's still got the juice. And I thought he actually did a really good job with the Cleveland Browns in 2022 when he was keeping the seat warm for Deshaun Watson. 12 touchdowns, 6 picks, a quarterback rating of almost 90, completing north of 64% of his passes, and almost 3,000 passing yards. I've always been a huge fan of Jacoby Brissett ever since Bill Parcells stood on his feet and really backed Brissett coming into the National Football League. He talked about he was going to be a good player, and ever since then, I've been a fan of Jacoby Brissett. Pro Football Focus, they think he'd be a pretty cheap option as well. 1 year, $6.5 million, fully guaranteed. Brissett is one of the higher players on my list when it comes to free agent quarterbacks for the targets. That's one of Marshy's guys. Sam Darnold is also another player that I thought fit the criteria of what the Giants are looking at. We know what Sam Darnold is as a player. Did not play all that well with the Jets. Was a top 5 pick. They had to move on from him. But I actually really liked what I saw from him in that 2022 season with the Carolina Panthers. And I also think sitting in San Francisco, getting to learn from all the smart coaches that they have in Kyle Shanahan, that could help him down the line. But you look at what he did with the Panthers. Like, the stats aren't going to blow you away, but what you talk about is the stat that really pops off the screen to me is the adjusted completion percentage, which is your completion percentage that is factored also in with drops and things like that, people running the wrong routes. The guy's adjusted completion percentage was 72.2. Sam Darnold is a talented player, and I think that he fits the mold of a guy that come in and compete with Daniel Jones. The last player we're going to talk about on today's show is Mitchell Trubisky. We talked about him a couple of days ago. I'm not the biggest fan of Trubisky. I just don't think he's that good of a football player. And I think that was shown not just in his years with the Chicago Bears, but also in the last 2 years with the Pittsburgh Steelers when he was benched for Mason Rudolph. He's just not that good of a player. But we do know this. The Giants were very interested in Mitch Trubisky back in the 2022 free agency cycle. He was a guy that the Giants were looking at. He was someone that was on their list. I remember listening to a podcast, and Adam Schefter predicted that he would be a New York Giant. Why did the Giants have interest in him, though? Because in 2021 with the Buffalo Bills, he was the backup quarterback when Brian Daboll was the offensive coordinator and Joe Schoen was the assistant general manager. They've always talked about bringing players into this football team that they know as people and as they know as players. They know Mitch Trubisky, and he just might be that guy they look to. Thing is, I hope not, because Mitch Trubisky is not a good quarterback. He cannot compete with Daniel Jones. I need somebody better than that. I need someone to put the heat on DJ. Mitch Trubisky, he can't even throw to one side of the field. I'm good on Trubisky in New York. We've gone through 5 quarterbacks on today's show. It's your job now to pick one. Sit in the seat of Joe Schoen. If the reports are true that the Giants are going to sign a backup veteran quarterback, who would you want to be the guy? Type the initials of the player you want to see on the New York Giants. Is it RT, Ryan Tannehill, GM, Gardner Minshew, JB, Jacoby Brissett, ST for Sam Darnold, or MT for Mitch Trubisky? 2 other QB options that I don't think are nearly as high on the list for the New York Giants, but guys that I personally like, Jameis Winston. The guy's going to throw 30 touchdowns. He may just also throw 35 interceptions. It'll at least be fun to watch on Sundays. And Carson Wentz, I'll keep my eye on him. 2 other guys that are sneaky options for the New York Giants. Make sure you guys are following me over on social media. The handle is @MarshallGreen_. It's on Twitter. It's on Instagram. My boss has told me I got to get a better social media presence. So help me out so don't get fired. Give me a follow. Let's go Big Blue. Woo! Shout out to everybody in the building. Almost 300 people watching. If you haven't yet, hit that thumbs up icon. We got a lot more to get into on today's show. As Yardley Moyes, it's got to be Moyes, right? Moyes, shout out to you. Appreciate the $5 super chat. Means a lot. Thanks for supporting the channel. I'm so perplexed in this situation. Yes, I want a new QB, but at the same time, I want us to build a good team as well. I have a secret. You can't have a good team with a bad quarterback. It starts there. You got to have one of them dudes under center. You got to have one of those guys under center.
Can I take it one step further?
Oh, you could take it 2 steps further.
Secret time.
No one spill the beans.
If you don't have a top 10 quarterback, you're basically fucked.
Agreed.
It's not incorrect though. Like, do you think Brock Purdy's a top 10 quarterback? I think if he's not, he's right on the edge. Top 12 at most.
Yeah, I agree.
And he had everyone around him. Didn't matter because Patrick Mahomes is the number 1.
No one share those secrets.
I've got one more. If you've got the best quarterback in football, that gives you a pretty good chance.
Yeah. Sam Brown, honest question here. As a non-Giants fan, what is your confidence level that Daniel Jones could beat Patrick Mahomes in a football game?
0.
Okay, so let's move on.
Has it happened?
No. Let's move on.
Has he had a chance yet?
Yeah, they have played. Did not
When
win.
was that?
That was, I would say that was the 2021-2022 season.
Yep, 2021.
It was a Monday night
like
game. It was a close game.
Week 8. And to be quite honest, Daniel Jones had maybe outplayed Patrick Mahomes. 22 of 32, 222 yards, 2 touchdowns,
22
1 pick.
completions for 222 yards. This guy is a check-down merchant.
Average
man.
10 yards a completion, 6.9 nice yards a pass. Also was without Saquon Barkley in that game. Patrick Mahomes, 29 of 48, 275 yards, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. His running backs at the time were Darrell Williams and Derek Gore.
Joey says, don't forget that DJ beat Lamar. He did. He did beat Lamar. He also beat Aaron Rodgers. Thing is, those guys aren't the players you're going to have to be worrying about playing the Super Bowl. Look, I know a lot of people love Daniel Jones. Look, a lot of people can never forget their first. And I think for a lot of people, Daniel Jones was the first quarterback that you fell in love with because you weren't a Giants fan before that. And that's okay. I'll never be mad that someone can't forget their first time. Sometimes it's hard to move on from that. But, Sam, once you do, man, it's great days ahead. It's great days ahead.
It almost feels like a burden. And I'm, full disclosure, behind the scenes, I'm a Broncos fan. We're going through this exact same thing with Russell Wilson. Not exactly the same, but massive contract, guy not worth it. Tough to move on. And it's very hard from Denver's side when they're going to have to eat like $80 million in cap. You got to be able to commit. You can't do this bullshit 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing where, hey, maybe we'll draft a quarterback and maybe we'll sign a free agent. If anything, the fact that the Giants are considering all these right off the bat should be good news.
Yeah. Greg Simon says, what are we doing? Marshall's been here for 10 minutes and hasn't said anything about the Giants. Well, we just went through a 19-minute segment that I scrolled back. And also, we've been live for 46 minutes. If you think I've been live for 46 minutes and haven't said anything about the Giants.
Greg, you're about 35, 40 minutes behind.
Yeah.
He's going to join in after the segment. He's going to listen to this and realize that he's been a half hour behind this whole time. Everyone, let Greg know in the chat. We've been talking Giants here for about 25 minutes now.
Yeah. Even in the build-up, we were talking about Giants.
Here's a Giants question for you, straight from Mike. Shout out to Mike.
Since we have not talked about the Giants at all today, let's do it. Thoughts on Spencer Rattler with Daboll, Allen 2.0. I remember about a month and a half ago standing on this here show and telling everybody that Spencer Rattler is going to be a draft sleeper. And then he went and won the Senior Bowl MVP. And everybody laughed at me. He's an asshole. He's mean. I don't give a shit. He's one of the best throwers of the football walking this earth. Sam Brown is a good source on this.
I covered him at OU. Well, it was technically my senior year was his freshman year, so we didn't really cover him as a football player. But yes, can confirm not the coolest guy to hang around in the world. Can also confirm he can throw it to literally every blade of grass on the football field. And that's something, look at Josh Allen, that's something you can work with and mold at least. He's going to get drafted day 2, and there are going to be people who are going to be like, dude, what the hell happened? Why the hell did he get drafted in round 3? He doesn't deserve it. But don't be surprised. Like, this is clearly a boomer bust play.
Absolutely.
I don't think he'll develop into a starting quarterback. He's got every tool to do it.
And that's what you want to do when you're taking quarterbacks in the 3rd and the 4th and the 5th round. You want to take guys that have NFL traits, and he has an NFL arm. The guy was projected to be the number 1 overall pick before he got beat out by some guy in Oklahoma named Caleb Williams. What's he doing these days? What's Caleb Williams doing?
It's pronounced Caleb.
Caleb Williams. What's he doing these days?
I heard he declared for the draft recently. Supposed to be pretty decent. Followed some scumbag out to California.
Okay, so Spencer Rattler got beat out by a guy named Caleb Williams who's projected to go number 1 in the draft?
That is correct.
Oh, he must stink. He must stink, right? Look, I know he's an asshole. I know he may be a little bit of a douchebag, maybe arrogant and all that. Sam Brown, I think we can all admit this. I'm not the same person I was when I was 17 and a half years old. You're not the same person you were when you were 17 and a half years old.
I see a common thread here between these two players. Spencer Rattler, talent, never fully lived up to the hype. Caleb Williams goes to USC. They never fully live up to the hype. What is the common denominator between those two guys?
Are you trying to rip Riley right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to shit on Lincoln Riley.
Still salty.
The guy's a peasant.
Mike, to answer your question, I am a fan of Spencer Rattler. I don't think he's a first-round quarterback. I don't think he's a second-round quarterback. But he is a guy that I would jump at the chance to select him in round 3. He's got NFL traits. He's got an NFL arm. Go watch the 2022 game, South Carolina versus Clemson. Watch that. Come back to me and give me your opinion. because if you watch that, you will believe he's one of the best quarterbacks in this draft. I'd say he's a top 7 QB in this class. Joe G, what's up, man? How much patience does Mara and Tish have in Daboll having another bad year to continue with him for year 4? I will say this, Joe. South Carolina versus Clemson. That is where he went. Joe G, this is what I will say. If the Giants have another season where they are picking inside the top 10, I think it's pretty safe to say that Brian Daboll will be fired. If the Giants are picking inside the top 10 in the 2025 NFL draft, they will also be looking for a new head coach. You don't usually get 2 seasons back-to-back picking in the top 10, especially after you give a quarterback $80 million. Gilly, what up? Appreciate you. Gilly used to be a full-time watcher of this show, and then she blew up on Giants Twitter, and now she just doesn't have time for us. She is hot in this. Every time I open my Giants topics, it's Gilly at the top getting just likes and retweets everywhere.
I can already tell from the profile picture, she is way too cool for you, dude.
She is way too cool for us. Way too cool. Gilly, we love you. Just messing with you a little bit. Can we get Michael Penix in the second? I would look, if Michael Penix is on the board in the second round and you didn't take J.J. McCarthy or whoever it was in the first round, I would love to get Michael Penix. I personally believe that he fits the Brian Daboll system perfectly. He is a vertical passer. He throws the ball downfield. And we got to see the Giants kind of peel back the cover of what they want their offense to be in the second half of the season. They were a team that threw the ball down the field with Tyrod Taylor. 70-yard touchdown to Darius Slayton. 80-yard touchdown to Darius Slayton. They have Jalen Hyatt. They want to throw it deep. Michael Penix, he could do that just about as good as anybody in this class. I'm not confident being there in the second round, but Gilly, if he is, I think he could definitely be a target for the New York Giants.
Those are our first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions in the mailbag.
That's right.
Shout out to Brian for starting it off. Rob Jigga, Yardley, Mike, Joe G, Gilly, all getting their questions in. First 6 questions, but outside of that, you're at the mercy of the Quay. If there's a lot of questions in the Quay, you're going to have to send in a super chat to skip the line potentially if you don't use #Giants.
We will be getting into our mailbag in about, I'd say, 30 minutes. Probably 30 minutes.
You like what I did there with the little Quay thing?
I love that.
Not everyone around here agrees with me.
I was supposed to say something important right there, but I forgot. So I don't think it was that important.
Nah.
Yeah, maybe not. Oh, yeah. We are $85 away from me beating Sam Brown in a punt, pass, and kick competition.
It would be, looking back on it, it's going to be classified as a strong attempt to beat me in a punt pass.
Are we all in agreement that Patrick Seaman will come in last?
Yes. Yeah, this is a two-headed.
I don't mean to be mean here.
No, this is a 2-horse race. We can be mean.
I've seen Patrick Seaman throw a football.
He's not watching the show.
For a guy that's so good at basketball, he can't throw for shit. It's embarrassing.
I'm not surprised.
He throws like this.
I hate those.
If you're a father out there or a mother to a kid,
teach your kid how to throw.
Teach your kid how to throw a freaking football. It's embarrassing when you see someone throw a football and they can't do it. So if you're a father, if you're a mother, take your kid, woman or man, in the backyard and show them how to toss the freaking pigskin. All right? Is that cool? Can we do that? You hold it like this. It's right here. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3.
The 3 cameras.
The 3
dude,
cameras.
I know about the 3 cameras.
You got camera 1, camera 2, and as my high school quarterback coach would say, on the follow-through, flick the booger. Flick the booger off your hand. Flick the booger.
Give it a little off the hand. You're speaking with the 8th grade Bowman Middle School B team starting quarterback here, by the way. So,
okay.
A lot of jet screens, a lot of yards after the catch in our offense.
I got really screwed in middle school football. I was the 7th grade A-team backup quarterback and the 8th grade A-team backup quarterback to Aaron Harrison, who ended up playing at Kentucky. Yeah. So I'm playing.
Ended up playing basketball
at Kentucky. Little 5'4" Marsh, little chubby, trying to play quarterback. And I'm like, this guy's 6'1" in the 7th grade, and he's an NBA player waiting to happen. I didn't get to play much middle school football. But you know what? Two A-team district championships, man. You know what my highlight of middle school football was? When we won the district championship, I got to go in there on 4th down, last play of the game, and knee it out. I got to knee it out. It made it all worth it.
That's like the opposite of padding the stats. You have 1 carry for -1 yards in your middle school football career.
Yeah.
Or your high school football career.
Shout out to them.
Smitty's going to come in here for 2 minutes because I have to pee so bad.
We don't want to do the cut because Smitty can't handle that.
No, I gotta go anyway.
Where are you going?
I gotta catch a flight.
Oh,
where are you going?
Little St. Bonaventure University alumni weekend.
How many times are you going to go back to your college? Close the yearbook. Grow up.
This is the only time I've gone back.
You were there 2 weeks ago.
No, I was not. I was home. I was home.
Seeing your college buddies.
No. I saw my college buddies in November. Went to Brooklyn. Far away from St. Bonaventure. Very far away.
Okay.
They're in the same state, but neither here nor there.
Technically in the same state, but
So it can't be that far.
good 7 hours.
Can't be that far.
You guys live in Texas. You know you could be far away in the same state.
Yeah, we do. Welcome Smitty into the chat.
While I go to the bathroom, I'm going to get this question on screen for Smitty.
Let's ride. All righty. 8.5 games started for Daniel Jones this season. Gilly says under. I kind of agree. Orange Skull says Marshall in terms of roster building, and then that's it. I don't really know what's after that. I don't really know what's after that. Rob says, chat, sorry guys, I do not see the Giants drafting a QB in the first round. First 3 picks will be QBs. That's fair. What's going on, Mr. Rick? What up? Do we want Smitty to compete in our punt, pass, and kick competition as well? Because he will absolutely. The only reason I would say no is because that means Patrick Seaman would not finish last.
Oh, I mean, I would finish last.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
If Smitty enters the punt, pass, and kick competition,
Who's the field? What's the
it's
field?
me, Sam, and Seeps right now.
Oh, I'm gonna kill Sam. Obviously.
Sam Brown?
Oh yeah.
Not Sam.
Oh,
Sam
never
Brown.
mind. I mean, Sam Brown's gonna get me in the kicking competition.
Exactly. That's
for
what I'm
sure.
worried about. I just got to have a really good throw, which is what we do. It's what we do.
I think everybody could outthrow me except me and Sam would probably be close.
Sam's got a good arm.
Sam's got a good arm, huh?
I would actually say
I
that
can get that
Sam
thing.
Brown is in competition for the second best arm at Chat Sports between Chase Senior, Mitchell Renz, and Sam Brown.
Really? How far are you chucking it?
Right now, it's a good question.
That's a good question.
That's a good question with the way that my labrum and rotator cuff are set up. Back in my prime, though? Back in my prime?
Are we getting 60?
Well, 7-0.
Ooh.
Well, 7-0, no biggie. Mr. Rick says he'd love to compete. Mr. Rick, how about we come to your house and do it? We do it in your backyard, Mr. Rick. We go onto the beach and we do it. I'm in.
Mr. Rick, you got turf?
Mr. Rick is a legend. That's all I know. Rosario Guzzo in the building. What up, man? Joey says 2-round mock draft with the other Chat Sports creators live. I don't hate that. What if we did like a actual mock draft with the Chat Sports people running their teams?
I think that'd be fantastic.
I think that'd be great content.
Yep.
I think that'd be great content.
Go live.
Go live?
Everybody get in suits.
I think that'd be pretty cool.
Some rotary phones and whatnot.
Nothing says you are not throwing 70 yards. If you think that I have a low enough self-esteem to need to come on here on
And
YouTube,
lie?
YouTube to 224 people and lie, I think that says a little bit more about you.
7-0. I mean, listen. Check the tape.
You've seen the tape.
Check the tape.
You've
man.
seen the tape, Smitty.
I've seen the tape.
You've seen the tape, dude.
There's tape out there.
LTD says he loves that mock draft idea. Maybe I'll pitch that to the crew and I'll take credit for it. Who was the actual one that said that, though? Joey. Joey came up with it. Maybe we do that. Maybe we do that. Smitty, let's go to the super and then let's go to the super chat menu if you can.
I can get that done for you.
Ska. What up, Brody? $2 super chat. What's going on, man? He says, round 1, wide receiver. Round 2, O-line. Round 2, quarterback or BPA. Round 3, Jay Wilson, LFG, NYG. Who is Jay Wilson? I need more info than that.
Jay Wilson. Round 3. Yeah.
Scott, let me know who Jay Wilson is. John.
Oh, wow. Is this
Okay.
This is a guy?
Is he one of those? Is he one of them ones, Sam Brown? Big guy. I haven't done much research outside of the first 2 rounds. I like to go for 1 round. I'm pretty much good on my first round, top 10 guys. We all know who those guys are going to be.
Yeah.
I'm on to round 2. We'll continue to do round 3 and 4 coming up.
Antonio.
My man Antonio Jackson. What's up, bro? Simmons down to edge and pick up Patrick Queen. I don't think the Giants are going to pay Patrick Queen, Antonio, and the reason for that is they gave Bobby Okereke a good amount of money last year, and they also really liked what they saw from Micah McFadden as well. So they have two good inside linebackers there. I'm a big fan. Of Isaiah Simmons. I just wonder, like, he's not great at anything, but he's about a C+ to a B- at a lot of things. And I sometimes wonder if that's actually not the best thing, because you don't really have a true defined role. But I'd like to bring Simmons back because he's such a jack of all trades, and he could be a sub-package linebacker. I'm a fan of his, Antonio. Juan Parada, what up, man? Think about wide receiver 1, Odunze Neighbors, wide receiver 2, Hyatt and Slayton, wide receiver 3, Wandale in the slot, tight end Waller, running back Barkley, with a new line via draft and free agency. I don't hate it. But it comes down to this. Who's blocking and who's throwing? Because if you have the same blockers and you have the same throwers, it ain't going to do anything. I'm a huge fan of Odunze. And I love Neighbors as well. I'd be thrilled if the Giants got Neighbors. I'd be thrilled if the Giants got Odunze. I'd be thrilled if they got Joe Wall. I'd be thrilled if they got Jane Daniels. So I'm cool in a couple of different ways they go. And a lot of experts are mocking the Giants receiver in round 1. I don't know.
By the way, just side piece, Antonio Jackson and Juan, both first-time Super Chatters.
Hey, yo, shout out to Antonio. Shout out to Juan. Appreciate you guys coming in. Sam, when we get a first-time Super Chatter, we do a little 2-clap.
Oh, dude, I'm so fucking good at this.
All right, so I'm not going to say their name. I'm just going to say 2-clap for the real ones. Ready? 2-clap for the real ones. That's right.
Look at that.
Juan Pereira and Antonio Jackson, we appreciate you guys. Thanks for being real ones. We are now officially $75 away from a punt passing kick competition.
Countdown is on.
At this point, I really need to do it because I want to win. Joe G says, I was a first-time Super Chatter. You were, for Joe G. My man, let's ride.
That wasn't, you didn't say 2 claps for Joe G.
No.
Like I wasn't ready for that one. Do it one more time for me.
For Joe G. My man, let's ride. Shout out to Joe G. That's on me, bro. Hey, players fuck up too. Quack, 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 Super Chat. Zach Attack 5858. When were you done with DJ? For me, it was week 1. Oh, week 4. I can't read. I hate saying this because Tyler Smitty, producer Smitty, is in the building. When he threw the pick 6 to, who was it on the Seahawks? When he threw the pick 6 to Devon Witherspoon, Devin, I was like, he's cooked. What was he doing? And then the dumb interception in week 1 where he rolls to the right and he throws it right to Stephon Gilmore on the sideline. So it was the week 1 interception. Really, I did a full breakdown of week 1 tape on Twitter. You could check it out. I think that will show you that it wasn't just the pressure that got to him. Also, yeah, the interception of Devin Witherspoon. That was when I was about out on him. Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. Oh, man, Aaron Seeley, a 20th time Super Chatter. Shout out to Aaron. We appreciate you. I have heard that there may be a trade possibility with the Patriots. What do you think about that? I have also heard that the Patriots are a team that could be looking to trade down in the NFL draft, Aaron. And if they are, I hope that Joe Schoen is working the phones trying to get up to make a trade with them. Because if you can get to 3 and Drake May's on the board, I know people are falling off the Drake May bandwagon. I am going to continue to have my flag cemented there because I trust my eyes and I trust my tape study. Drake May is going to be a good football player. And if you could get up to 3 and you take him, that's a quick way to fix this franchise. I think I'm Neighbors over Odunze. I just like the pop that he has with the ball in his hands. I like the game-breaking ability once the rock's in his hands. Odunze's right there, though. Odunze's right there. Giants get either one of those guys. We're going to be happy. All righty. Let's talk about J.J. McCarthy. Because I had a little birdie tell me when I was in Las Vegas that the Giants really like him. Like, really like him. Like, you know, like when you they like him. Not just like him. That's what I heard when I was in Vegas. Johnson, you appreciate the super chat, man. We're going to hop into this segment. We got some other stuff to do here today. He says, birthday one, let's go get Mac Jones. Can you ever not be a troll? Can you ever not be a troll, Johnson, you? And I love that about you, because I'm the biggest troll in the world. Sam, does this count as a first-time super chatter?
I don't believe so. Usually we get the thing on the little YouTube thing.
Yeah, Johnson, you at one point created 20 accounts when this feature first started so he could be first-time super chatters. Johnson, you, I'm worried about our Knicks, bro. I'm worried about our Knicks. Just because of the injuries. I'm worried that we're not going to get healthy. But I'm pessimistic as hell. All righty, let's get into it. Are the New York Giants going to draft J.J. McCarthy with the 6th pick in round 1 of the 2024 NFL Draft? I was in Las Vegas covering the Super Bowl, and I have heard that the Giants love J.J. McCarthy. Let's break it down. I first just want to set the scene for this video. I'm going to err under the side that my source told me was true, that the Giants really do like him. So I'm going to try to prove to you why J.J. McCarthy would be a good pick inside the top 10. But I'm not going to use any of my own words. I'm going to use words of the media. Destin Adams, who covers the NFL, says the NFL is significantly higher on J.J. McCarthy than I ever could have imagined. I had a direct source today share that a team in the NFC has him as their QB2. Okay, so a team in the NFC has him as their QB2. Let's just look at the top 10 draft order. Because if you're going to have someone as QB2, that means you probably are going to take them in the top 10, right? I mean, if you're not taking QB2 in top 10, I got a bigger question for you. So let's go through the teams. Chicago Bears. Well, they're going to take Caleb Williams, so it doesn't matter. Washington Commanders. I am confident that their first QB is Caleb Williams and their second QB is Jaden Daniels. The next NFC team is the Arizona Cardinals. Why would the Arizona Cardinals be telling people about their quarterback draft board when they have Kyler Murray? The next NFC team, New York Giants. The Atlanta Falcons at 8. Maybe they like him. And you got the Chicago Bears at 9. They don't need a quarterback. So there's only 2 teams in the top 10 in the NFC that could potentially have J.J. McCarthy as QB2. And I don't think it's the Atlanta Falcons. I want to go back to this report that we talked about on the channel a couple of weeks ago. Justin Spiro, I believe is how you says his name. He's actually a friend of CEO of Chat Sports, James Yoder. And James Yoder sent this to me and he said, hey, I'm going to message him and see if it's real. They talked about it and he said, yeah, it's real. Report. Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy recently had positive discussions with the Las Vegas Raiders and the New York Giants. Both expressed interest in him and said he carries a first-round grade. These discussions helped him inform McCarthy's decision to declare for the NFL Draft. So we have a source saying a team picking inside the top 10 has J.J. McCarthy as QB2. I have been told the Giants really like him, and we've also got this report that the Giants gave him a first-round grade. But it's not just that he's rising up on Giants draft big boards. Benjamin Albright, one of the most notable NFL insiders, says, quote, people around the NFL view J.J. McCarthy as a top 10 player, higher than Bo Nix and Michael Penix, who they have as a day 2 and day 3 grades. Yeah, it's getting interesting with J.J. McCarthy in the New York Giants. Before we give you more stats, info, and takes from NFL insiders across the league, should the Giants draft J.J. McCarthy in round 1? Pick 6 comes. Let's say the draft goes Caleb Williams, Jaden Daniels, Drake May. Top 3 QBs are off the board. And you're picking 6. And McCarthy's staring you in the face. Should the Giants select him? Yes? No? Let me know what you guys think down in the comment section. Let me know. I'm very curious to see what all the real ones say. Said at the top of the video, just want to say it again. I have heard the Giants love J.J. McCarthy. I was in Las Vegas covering the Super Bowl, and I got to talk to some people. And, yeah, The Giants supposedly really, really love him, but so does the rest of the National Football League. Matt Miller, an NFL draft expert for ESPN, said this about McCarthy. All the tools are there. They're just kind of waiting to come out. I've talked to so many scouts, one in particular who said J.J. McCarthy would be Joe Burrow if he were on a team that threw the ball. J.J. McCarthy is skyrocketing up draft boards. There were talks that he shouldn't even come out of college and go to the NFL draft prior to the college football playoffs. And when he won the national championship, it was like, all right, maybe he's a second or third round guy. Now, it sounds like he might not make it out of the top 10. Mike Girardi, who covers all things sports for the Boston Sports Journal, said this. He wouldn't be surprised if McCarthy ends up being a top 10 pick. He's definitely moving up the board, Girardi said Tuesday on NBC Sports Boston. He might have already been there. As usual with the media and draft things, we get to it a little bit later than the buzz in league circles. He didn't go to the Senior Bowl even though he was eligible as a junior as they changed the rules this year, and he probably helped his cause because Bo Nix and Michael Penix didn't show out. So now, if he was in the second tier of quarterbacks, he moves ahead of those guys. And then you just talk to people down there and look, some of the metrics with him are outstanding. His ability to deliver on third down, they played in some tough games. McCarthy is going to test off the charts. He's a phenomenal athlete. He's got a big arm. He's climbing fast. And again, if teams aren't willing to move at picks number 1, 2, and 3, would I be shocked if by the end of this, J.J. McCarthy is a top 10 pick? I would not. It's not just him, though. Field Yates of ESPN just put out a mock draft, and he had J.J. McCarthy going number 12 overall. So you have NFL experts that work for every single media athlete telling you that McCarthy is going inside the top 15. Maybe the Giants are the team that'll take him at 6. Coming up next, is J.J. McCarthy worth the risk of being drafted in round 1? I'll try to unpack that as we compare his stats to other quarterback stats in this class. But first, I need you guys to support today's sponsor, Game Time. Shout out to Game Time for supporting today's show. And if you download the Game Time app and use the promo code GIANTSCHAT, you're going to get $20 off. Download the Game Time app, the #1 ticketing app in the game. What I love about it is prices of the events drop as the event gets closer. I'm a procrastinator. I don't like spending money out in the future unless I have to. In Game Time, they let me spend it when I want to. They also have these awesome flash deals all the time. Well, they will alert you when a special is going on. But my favorite feature of all of them is you get a view of the seat that you want to buy inside the app prior to the purchase. And use promo code GIANTSCHAT. You'll save $20 off. Check them out. It's not just Giants games. You can go to Knicks games, Rangers games. The Mets and Yankees are coming back. You can go to comedy events. You can go to concerts and so much more. Check them out. Promo code GIANTSCHAT. $20 off. Shout out to Game Time, the best ticketing app in the game. Download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code GIANTSCHAT for $20 off your first purchase. All that information will be clickable down in the comments and description of today's show. All righty, let's try to unpack it. Is J.J. McCarthy a risk if the Giants were to draft him in round 1? You look at what he did last year for Michigan, completed 72.3% of his passes, threw for almost 3,000 yards, and had 22 touchdowns through the air and 4 interceptions. One of the biggest critiques of J.J. McCarthy is that he doesn't have a big-time arm and that he's a dink and dunker and he's a product of the system and that Michigan just ran the ball. So you know what I did? I went and looked up 2023 big-time throw percentages. And I got Jane Daniels, Drake Mays, Michael Penix, Caleb Williams, and Bo Nix. Guys, he's all being compared to. Jane Daniels, number 1 in big-time throw percentage, 8.4%. Drake May, number 2, 7.5. Michael Penix, 7.3. Caleb Williams, 6.2. And J.J. McCarthy, 6.0. So he is right there with Caleb Williams, who people talk about having big-time throw ability like Patrick Mahomes. But then I looked at, like, you know what? People say he's not a good athlete. He only makes plays in structure. He can't do anything. So I was like, what about looking up his completion percentage on scramble plays? How often is he finding the open receiver when the play breaks down? And I found out, guys, that J.J. McCarthy has the #1 completion percentage of all the quarterbacks in this draft class, projected to go in the top 6 of all of them. The highest completion percentage on scrambles, 71% for J.J. McCarthy, 58 for Bo, 46 for Jaden, 41 for Caleb Williams, 36 for Drake May, and 23 for Michael Penix. But then I was like, you know what? J.J. McCarthy, he's a guy that just kind of gets to hand the ball off to Blake Corum in the red zone. He just gets to give it to all the playmakers they got. So it's like, how does he play in the red zone, right? How does he play there? Well, yeah, pretty damn good. He completed 63.2% of his passes in the red zone through 9 touchdowns to 2 interceptions. A higher red completion percentage in the red zone than Drake May, than Michael Penix, and Caleb Williams. So there's that. And then this from my guy WBG84. In my opinion, the #1 follow on Giants Twitter. Check him out. The guy does awesome work, man. He's a huge J.J. McCarthy guy as well. So he tweeted out this stat. J.J. McCarthy, 2023 deep ball passing numbers. Because everyone says he can't throw the deep ball. He just rode the coattail of the running game. On passes of 20-plus air yards, J.J. McCarthy was 24 of 44 with 10 touchdown passes. McCarthy's 54.5% completion percentage on passes traveling 20-plus air yards ranks second in this draft class, only behind Jaden Daniels. So we showed you what he does in the red zone. We showed you his deep throw percentage. We showed you his big-time throw rate and what he does when he's scrambling. And on top of that, all the kid has done throughout the time that he has put on a helmet, ever since he's put one of these on, he has won football games. All the kid does is win. You might as well just call him DJ Khaled. 26-39 in high school. 26-3. I can't read. 26-3 in high school. And then he goes to a prep school, IMG Academy, where I got to cover him and interview him. He goes 8-0. Then he goes to Michigan, and he's 27-1. So he's got just as good as stats of advanced metrics of others QBs in this class, and he's also won more than almost all of them. Take a broader look. Just look at what he's done over the last 2 years with Michigan. 2022, he completed 64% of his passes. I think I'm a pretty consistent guy on this. I want a quarterback that gets better as life goes on. And the thing that pops off the page to me right here is a jump of almost 10 percentage points in completion percentage. Goes from 64% in 2022 to 72% this year while throwing for more passing yards. The dude is really good. Some more advanced numbers. You look at where he operates on a football field. You got throws from 0 to 9 yards. You got throws from 10 to 19 yards. You got throws of 20-plus yards. I'd say these are pretty good numbers. 10 touchdowns on throws of more than 20-plus yards. And the medium area, he completes a large percent of his passes, and he's money on checkdowns of under 9 yards. The dude is so underrated. And in the big-time moments, played pretty damn good. What about in the Rose Bowl, where he was pretty damn good? 221 yards, 3 total touchdowns, took care of the football, kept Michigan in the game. Was he the driving force as to why they won? No. But he didn't get in the way, and when a big play was needed, when his number was called on 3rd down, he succeeded. National championship, it was a blowout. Just take care of the football. That's all he had to do. And he won. And he won. A winner. That's what I want. I want a winner at the quarterback position for the Giants. I've changed my tune, and I think I am allowed to do that. I would not hate J.J. McCarthy at pick number 6. I would not hate it. I think a lot of the McCarthy takes out there are very, very lazy. They are people that have not watched his All-22 film. They have not charted his throws. They don't look at advanced analytics, and they don't compare him to his peers. All they say is this: he did nothing to win games. He didn't have to do anything. All he did was hand the football off. You know who did that for 3 Super Bowls? Tom Brady. And then he became an elite quarterback. All he did was manage the game, kept the team in position to win, and Vinatieri got it done. I'm not saying J.J. McCarthy is Tom Brady, but what I am saying is J.J. McCarthy, I think everyone should update their takes and do a little bit more research because it's unfair how we are grading this player, and I think he's going to be good in the NFL. I'm pretty damn confident about it. I'll ask you this question. J.J. McCarthy is the blank best quarterback in the 2024 draft class. You got Caleb Williams. You got Jaden Daniels. You got Drake May. You got Bo Nix. You got Michael Penix. J.J. McCarthy is the blank best quarterback in the 2024 draft class. Let me know what you think. For me, he's QB4, and there is a wide gap between QB4 and QB5. I have Caleb Williams 1, I have Drake May 2, I have Jaden Daniels 3, and I have J.J. McCarthy 4. Do I love the idea of drafting QB4 at pick 6? No. But everything that everyone tells me that's in line with the NFL, teams love him. They love his intangibles. He's a leader. He's a winner. He's a worker. But he's also someone that has very underrated tangibles. I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong, and I like a guy that has a chip on his shoulder because that's all I got. Make sure you guys are following me over on social media. I'm tweeting about the Giants and posting about the Giants every day on Twitter and Instagram. So give your boy a follow, and we'll see you next time. Let's go Big Blue. Man, oh man, oh man. I know a lot of people don't like J.J. McCarthy, Sam Brown. I don't think it's fair. The dude was a blue chip player coming out of high school.
True. I can't presume myself to be more of a scouting savant than anybody else. I watch a lot of college football. I'm not saying I'm watching a lot of all 22s or stuff.
Yeah.
I think there are certain guys, certain quarterbacks, you can tell the way the ball comes out of their hands, right? McCarthy is one of those guys. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a good quarterback.
Yeah.
I think he's got the tools. And I think that his caliber, like you said, as a blue chip prospect, and those intangibles that you talk about, like his leadership and things like that, are going to translate to the next level and make his life a little easier. The big part for me is the mental processing.
Yeah.
I think the encouraging sign is that lack of takeaways. What was it, 4 picks last year, 5 picks the year before that?
Yep. Doesn't put the ball in harm's way.
He makes the right decisions. Some of the throws aren't, always the prettiest. At the end of the day, he had, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers in the college football playoffs, 2 games.
Yeah.
That means a good amount to me.
I like my quarterbacks to take care of the football. Don't put the ball in harm's way. Look, I'm not saying he's QB1. I'm not saying he's QB2. I'm not saying he's QB3. I say he's the 4th best QB in this class. But I believe in him.
Here's what I'd ask. Where would J.J. McCarthy be last year?
I would have had my evaluation would have had Bryce Young over him, C.J. Stroud over him.
QB3.
Yeah. I think he's better than Will Levis.
I think the traits with Anthony Richardson are more tantalizing.
The upside of Richardson is very, very...
The upside of Richardson is like fully there. You kind of saw it for 4 games.
Yeah.
There's still a good ways to go on the arm side of things for him.
Agreed.
He's not an accurate quarterback still.
They are yin and yang, too.
Yeah.
And also, and I wish I would have said this in a video, McCarthy makes a lot of sense for the Giants because he can sit for 6 games behind Daniel Jones and learn a little bit.
I'll say, how much do you really learn from Daniel Jones?
Learn from Daboll.
What to do right?
What
not to do?
More so I meant from Dave's. My man Vibes coming in with a $20 super chat. What's up, Brody? Hey, Marsh. Heard rumors that Drake May is going to fall in the draft. How much of this do you think is true? I have also heard those same rumors, Vibes, and I'm gonna believe him for now. I'm gonna believe him.
I think he's going to fall.
I don't know what to fall.
Like I said, you don't let me finish the sentence. I think he's going to fall from 2 to 3. He's not getting past 3 in my mind.
Okay.
I think he's either the next quarterback for the Commanders or the next quarterback for the Patriots.
Yeah, and I didn't mean learn from Daniel Jones. I meant just learn to be an NFL quarterback.
Learn to be an NFL, definitely.
Learn how to, and that's another thing. And I wish you can't say everything you always want to say. When you talk to anyone that has sat down in a room with J.J. McCarthy, they say he's one of the smartest people on the whiteboard that they've seen in recent years. I don't know. I like him. He wins games.
You combine that with the guy that, like I said, you can tell how that ball comes out of his hand.
When he throws that 17-yard pass on the hash, that thing fucking spins out of his hand.
This is not. You think check down artist? The first person that came to my mind is like Jimmy Garoppolo.
He's not that.
He's not Jimmy Garoppolo. He's not a guy who's only going to excel in the intermediate part of the field. And, I mean, in a way, that's Daniel Jones.
Yeah. I kind of compare him almost, when it comes to arm, a little bit like Matt Ryan. Like a little bit like Matt Ryan is a young Matt Ryan. Not noodle arm Matt Ryan, young Matt Ryan that went number 1 overall. But, yeah. We do have a little bit of a super chat menu going on. Every time someone sends in a $10 super chat, it gets you a ticket into the raffle to win our custom New York Giants Now football. Also, we're doing a $50 super chat competition. Right now, the Bang God is Mr. Cha. Shout out to him.
Hell yeah, brother.
If you send in a $50 super chat, you get your sticker on our brand new New York Giants helmet, and you get an entry into the Bang raffle. Whoever sends in the most $50 super chats this month, you're going to be our February Bang God, and we're also going to get you a custom New York Giants Now jersey. One of one. Can't get it anywhere else. Mr. Rick is in the lead. He sent in one $50 super chat. And then, if we get to 200 total, I'm going to beat Sam and Seeps in a punt passing kick contest.
He wishes. He absolutely is. So I can tell you exactly what he said if we're just going to go behind the scenes off the record here. We'll just throw everything on air. He walks into the room. He goes, Sam, I've got my super chat deal of the day today. But I'm not going to lie, when I made it, I didn't realize it'd be against you.
I forgot that Sam was pretty much a professional soccer player.
I was far from it, but I did play growing up, and that gives a pretty decent advantage, at least on the punt and kick side. And I feel pretty damn good about my passing ability to close the gap a little bit.
No one gives your arm in this office more credit than me.
True.
I've played catch with everyone here in this office. He may not have the biggest arm, but man, that spiral's tight. The form is good. Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3, flick the booger.
You can tell how that ball comes out of my hand, dude. It's just it's something else.
Exactly.
I'm excited for it, but we are still
we're 35 away.
35. Oh, that's I believe in Giants
I believe
fans.
that we'll get there.
I'll tell you what, if you help get us across 200, I guarantee you're going to get in the mailbag.
Agreed.
Because we've got a bunch of good questions, starting with Brian Ackerley, who's going to be the first question. We've gotten a bunch of good questions since then, so we're going to roll through a lot of the super chats to catch up, and then we're going to get to the hashtag Giants, and you can skip the line by sending in a super chat.
Let's do it. Alex Jackson says, Marsh, do you remember what your Daniel Jones draft grade looked like? I did not do enough study on Daniel Jones. I was still in college when he was
said you didn't even work here.
Yeah, I didn't work here. I didn't go through a full tape study, so I can't answer that question for you.
How many? Don't lie to the people. How many Duke games in 2019 did you watch?
Like, I'm not going to lie and say I didn't think he was a good quarterback coming out. I didn't put the work in to come up with the explanation.
I was going to say, if you had your draft grade from 2018, I'm all ears.
Yeah.
I don't remember watching any Duke football.
I know that when he got picked at 6, a lot of people were mad. All right, we're going to do Aiyuk, then Sack. All right, we're going to talk about Brandon Aiyuk. There's been a lot of talk about Aiyuk potentially forcing his way out of San Francisco. The Giants have been linked as a team, as a top destination. Also, we did get a $10 super chat from the Bronx boy, who I think is still watching. I'm not sure if we skipped
yeah. Sorry, that's on me.
And where is my guy? I just saw it in the chat. Rob Jigga says, hey, Marsh, am I entered into anything today? Did you send in a $10 super chat? Have you sent in a $10 super chat? You did. Every $10 super chat you guys send in, it gets you one ticket into the raffle. The Bronx boy just added another one. He says, I don't want another Daniel Jones type question mark at QB. If you're going to get a quarterback in this draft, go for the 70 tutties with 10 picks. I do not disagree with that. I want the blue chip prospect at quarterback. Agreed. I am agreeing with you. I don't want to classify, though. I think this is where you're going, but I'm not going to put words in your mouth. I don't want another Daniel Jones type question mark at QB. I feel like you're saying that about J.J. McCarthy, but there's a difference. J.J. McCarthy won a national championship and got to the college football playoff last year. Daniel Jones, I don't think ever had a winning record at Duke.
49-11, J.J. McCarthy career touchdown interception in college.
Yeah. I don't think that's fair, Bronx boy. I don't think that's fair.
I think if he had okay, we can do a real quick comparison here. I'm just curious. I'm going to pull up Daniel Jones' stats now at this point because this is the rabbit hole that we're going down. Daniel Jones, his last year at Duke, had 392 passing attempts. J.J. McCarthy, his last year at Michigan, 332. That's about 3 games difference.
Well, think about it like this. That's 60 passes difference. That's 10, 12 games. He's passing the ball 4, 5, 6 more times a game.
Daniel Jones, 2,674 yards. J.J. McCarthy, 2,991.
So with 60 less attempts, he threw for more yards.
Same amount of touchdowns. Daniel Jones had 9 picks. McCarthy had 4.
Okay. And then you tack on a national championship. You tack on Big Ten competition instead of ACC competition. And I'm not saying you're doing this. I will say that this is what I think people are doing, not you. I think people are doing. They see white, tall quarterback that people have concerns about. Daniel Jones, J.J. McCarthy. I don't know. I think it's unfair.
I should look up Daniel Jones' college tape, honestly. Like J.J. McCarthy, you take J.J. McCarthy's good and Daniel Jones is good. I feel pretty confident saying J.J. McCarthy's good is going to look a lot better.
And also, and now I'm just going back and forth with you, and I know that you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You can hand it.
He
says,
it.
just this conversation shows it's a question mark. But what about the 20-minute video we just filmed where I showed none of my opinions? I showed only stats and other people's opinions who are in the know and actually matter in this world, unlike Widow's Peak, that say Sammy's a top 10 pick. That was the whole point of that video. None of those were my takes.
You go off of those takes.
Yes.
And then decide whether it's the right fit for the Giants. But yeah, this is the buzz that we've been hearing for a while now. Like this is literally less of a question mark for people in the NFL. No, so Bronx Boy, there was a report about this actually a little over a month ago, like right around when the regular season ended, of don't be surprised when J.J. McCarthy ends up higher than everyone expects him to end up. I believe it was from a big media source, NFL Network type of source. Sorry, I'm pulling it up now, but I mean, this has been a conversation for a minute, and you can't be surprised when he winds up top 10. Like this has been the question mark. There are less question marks in the NFL about this guy than there are here on YouTube.
And fans and media.
And
the
fans and media.
NFL loves J.J. McCarthy. It's just
he's less of a question mark in their minds than he is in ours. That's just because we haven't seen it.
Sam, this time last year, no one thought Anthony Richardson was a top 10 pick. He ends up going 3. Or whenever he went. I think it was 3.
He was 4.
4? 4 still.
I think. Now you got me questioned. No. He went 4 to the Colts because the Texans traded into the number 3
Anderson
spot.
And Stroud went 2 and 3. Exactly. He says, is that new, this conversation? It's more so coming out now, but that I think what that shows is it's leaking from the NFL side, but I feel like the NFL has felt this for quite some time. Look, everyone's allowed to have their own opinions. I don't want people to always agree with me. If that was the case, this show would suck. And I'm also saying he's just QB4. Just saying he's QB4. All righty, let's talk about Brandon Aiyuk. Shout out to everybody in the building. We appreciate you guys. Johnson U says, what if the QB we take turns into Bryce Young? Do you let Daniel Jones take over? I'm kind of in the thought process there, Johnson. Once you have your guy, you stick with that guy. I don't think that the flip-flopping is good. You draft the quarterback, you stay with the quarterback. And also, I'm going to say this. I think Bryce Young is good. I think he just played for a shithole. But we'll find out in 2 to 3 years if Marshall's right about that one. I believe in Bryce Young. All righty. Does Brandon Aiyuk want to be traded to the Giants? Let's break it down. Is Brandon Aiyuk forcing a trade from the San Francisco 49ers? We're going to dissect that idea on today's show as social media posts from Aiyuk's brother and girlfriend suggest that he's unhappy with the 49ers and he could be seeking a trade. Let me know what you think. Should the Giants trade for Brandon Aiyuk? Type T for trade, type P for pass. 12 months ago, we talked about that idea on this channel multiple times. Fast forward, sounds like it's going to be a reality, and I want to hear from you. Let me know what you think. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedule to rock and roll with us as we get you caught up on everything surrounding the Giants as well as the National Football League. Is Brandon Aiyuk going to be traded? Let's talk about it. What's going on with the guy that played like a top 10 wide receiver this year for the San Francisco 49ers? Well, after the Super Bowl, where the Niners lost and Aiyuk had just 3 grabs, Aiyuk's brother and best friend said Aiyuk will play in Las Vegas for the Raiders due to his frustrations. Then Aiyuk's girlfriend indicated his days with the 49ers may be over. Brandon Aiyuk is entering the last year of his rookie deal. He is going, or is expected right now, to be playing on that 5th-year option. He wants to get paid. And he doesn't love that they did not really target him all that much in the Super Bowl. Look at this. This is the exact reason why we leave in San Francisco. Thank you, 49ers, for drafting my brother. We are forever grateful. BA to Vegas. Why does your all-pro 1,300-yard receiver have 3 catches in the Super Bowl? If you think, I'll just say this. Brandon Aiyuk told his brother to post this. His brother is not posting this without permission from Brandon Aiyuk. They do not say these things with that. Also this, Brandon Aiyuk's girlfriend on Instagram. Okay, this might have been the last day we touch foot on Levi's Stadium. Me and Braylon, their son, because we might not be out here next season. And look, the 49ers are going to have to make a very difficult decision when you have the type of roster they do with Christian McCaffrey, Fred Warner, Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, Javon Hargrave, all the expensive players they have. And then young players like Brock Purdy's going to have to get paid sooner than later. Talanoa Hufanga is going to have to get paid. A lot of these young guys are going to need money. And there's only so much of the pizza pie to go around. The roster they still have is elite, but it's increasingly getting more expensive, not going to be able to keep everybody. And we talked about this last year. I told you guys 12 months ago, the 49ers are going to have to sooner rather than later trade or cut some of their players. You cannot continue to have the highest paid team every single year. Why are we talking about it on the Giants Now channel by Chat Sports? Because Brandon Aiyuk liked a picture of him on Instagram in a New York Giants jersey edit. This was last year, to be fair, but what does this tell me? He at one point had an interest in playing for Big Blue. There he is in a Giants edit, and there Brandon Aiyuk is at the bottom, showing he liked the video. Will the Giants trade for him? Let's try to break it down. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel, though, because if anything happens, whether it's with Aiyuk, Giants draft, free agency trade, roster cuts, coaching news, whatever it is, we're going to be breaking it down on this channel, youtube.com/NYGiantsTV. Subscribe, turn the notifications on, and sub for Giants Dubs. It's a very interesting case for the New York Giants. They are not a wide receiver away from competing at the top of this league. They also have a lot of holes across their roster. And Brandon Aiyuk is wanting to secure the bag. So if the Giants are going to go and acquire him, they're going to have to give up valuable draft assets, and they're also going to have to give him a large chunk of money. Is it worth it? We'll discuss it around the corner, but first I need you to check out our proud sponsor, Game Time. Download the Game Time app, use the promo code GiantsChat, and get $20 off. What is Game Time? It's the #1 ticketing app in the game. You get the best seats for the lowest price guaranteed. Prices drop as the events get closer. The lowest price guaranteed. They also show you a view of the seat in the app that you are looking to buy. And it's not just Giants games you can go to. You can get tickets for absolutely anything. We've got pictures of Knicks games. You also can go to Mets or Yankees games when those start. You can go see the Rangers at Madison Square Garden and so much more. Concerts, music event. Concerts are a music event. Concert plays, theater events, and so much more. Check them out. Download the Game Time app and use the promo code GiantsChat to get $20 off. I've used the Game Time app multiple times. It's been a very easy user experience, and I always feel like I'm getting the best deal. That's why I continue to use them. Check them out. Download it. Promo code GiantsChat, $20 off. I believe that Brandon Aiyuk is a top 10 wide receiver in this league. That was my opinion last year when he put up 78 grabs for over 1,000 yards and 13 yards per catch and 8 touchdowns. And then he took his game to another level. Think about it like this. He had 3 less catches this year compared to last year, but he had more than 300 plus more yards. His yards per catch went from 13 to 17. He can line up outside. He can line up in the slot. He can run every single route on the route tree. I think he's one of the best route runners in this league, and he is at the top of the list in the NFL when it comes to separation. And look at some of the stats where he ranks at the top. Yards per catch, 2. Yards per target, 2. PFF wide receiver grade, 2. EPA, 2. Receiving yards, 7. So what does that mean? He is going to want to be a top 10 highest paid receiver in the league. Do the Giants have that type of cash, and are they willing to shell out that type of cash? Are the Giants going to pay a wide receiver at the current state of the rebuild top 10 money? Are we going to give him $20 million? I think that's the minimum he would take. I think he's better than Keenan Allen. I think he's better than DJ Moore. I think he's better than Terry McLaurin. I think he's better than Deebo Samuel. I would have him at 6 because I don't think he's better than Tyreek, Devontae Cooper, A.J. Brown, and I actually do think he's better than DK Metcalf. He's one of my favorite wide receivers, if you can't tell, because what he does is what I love about a football player, and it's what Joe Schoen loves about a receiver. He's a yak generator. He is someone that can generate yards after the catch. He can line up in the slot. He can line up outside. He can beat you deep. He can beat you short. He can get in an intermediate range. He is a special, special player. But on top of that, on top of the fact that he's going to want $10 million, $20 million per year, you're also going to have to trade a king's ransom to get him. Let's look back at some trades that have gone down across the National Football League that have involved top wide receivers. When the Eagles traded for A.J. Brown, they had to give up a first and a third-round pick. And A.J. Brown on the Titans wasn't quite the A.J. Brown that you now think of on the Philadelphia Eagles. Still really good with the Titans. There's a reason he went for first and third. But he upped his game like crazy. First and a third for A.J. Brown. The Raiders had to give up a first and a second-round pick for an aging Devontae Adams. And when Tyreek Hill was traded from the Chiefs to the Dolphins had to give up a first-round pick, a second-round pick, 2 fourth-round picks, and a sixth-round pick. So on top of the fact that you'd have to make Aiyuk a top 10 highest-paid receiver and have to give up massive, massive draft compensation, I'm going to say this trade is unlikely. This made a lot more sense last offseason when you thought you had your quarterback and you thought you were a receiver away from competing after you just made it to the second round in the NFL playoffs. Not sure the Giants are on a spot to give up valuable picks and give a contract extension to Brandon Aiyuk. Whether it's Aiyuk or somebody else, though, Joe Schoen knows that he needs to add another playmaker to this football team. Obviously, he has to build up the offensive line, and that should be priority number 1. But man, oh man, these stats that the Giants receivers put up last year, they are sick, and not in a good way. It makes my stomach sick. Their leading receiver had 50 grabs for 770 yards and 4 touchdowns. And Darius Slayton's a good player, but he can't be your wide receiver 1. I like Wan'Dale Robinson as a wide receiver 3 or a slot. I'm hoping Hyatt takes a step next year. Hodgins, I actually think he's pretty good, but you know what? Nobody's stats were all that good. So maybe you look somewhere else in free agency to sign a wide receiver instead of trading for Brandon Aiyuk. You're going to guys like T. Higgins, Mike Evans, Michael Pittman, Hollywood Brown, Calvin Ridley, Darnell Mooney, Gabe Davis, Odell Beckham Jr., Tyler Boyd, and Curtis Samuel. Maybe you look to one of these guys. My guys on this list are Calvin Ridley and sleeper is the word, Darnell Mooney. Keep your eyes on Darnell Mooney. I think and Gabe Davis will obviously have interest from the New York Giants. We've shown you 10 wide receivers that are free agents. You also know that Brandon Aiyuk wants to be traded. Name a wide receiver you want the Giants to sign or trade for. Name a wide receiver you want the Giants to sign or trade for. Let me know in the comments, and make sure to give me a follow over on Instagram. You can follow me on Twitter at @MarshallGreen_. You can follow me on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up over there, and let's go G-Men.
Take a breath.
Take a breath. Drink some water. One more section to go. Segment. Jesus.
Now, like,
I can't even speak.
English is just out the door at this point for this guy.
I got a 4-day weekend staring me in the face.
What'd you just say? Yeah, me too. What'd you just say earlier? The receiving stat? Or no, I don't even know what you said.
Thing is, I don't know what I said either. I kind of just say things sometimes.
You said section. There was something wild that was just in there, right there. Name a wide receiver.
Tristan says, realistically, Daboll is horny for Bills players. What a fetish. What a fetish. All right, Brian, what are you dealing with today? I've got a fetish for Buffalo Bills players. Oh, man. All righty, let's jump into this mailbag. The question pool and the sack is filled. We're also $30 away. $30 away from a punt, pass, and kick competition between me, Sam Brown, and Patrick Seaman. What's up, Carl?
Which I will win.
What's up, Bronx boy? You're a superstar, brother. Thanks for being a real one. Indian Scammer says draft Drake May and sign Brandon Aiyuk. It's a lot of trading. Bills fetish 30. Giants for life says Pittman for cheap. J Sports Card says OBJ back home. J-Dog says should take Bowers at 6. Look at Kelsey with KC and Andrews in Baltimore. Tight ends are worth their weight in gold. Hey, he's a really good football player. Giants need more of those.
Tight ends are a man's best friend. Dogs, not even close. Dogs ain't got shit on Travis Kelce.
Rob Jigga, I am pumped about NCAA football coming back. I am pumped.
I've watched that trailer, I think, 3 times today.
I'm excited.
It's going to be electric. I know it's a good thing for us here at Chat Sports, like the summers where things actually kind of slow down a little bit.
And that's when it's coming out.
That's when it's coming out, dude. I might take a PTO day and just post up on the couch all day.
I ain't mad at you. All righty. Let's get into this mailbag.
We're going to run through a bunch of super chats to start here, starting with Brian Ackerley. So those people get to skip the line because they send in the super chat. So if you want to get on the show, you want to guarantee you get on the show, and more importantly, you want to see Marshall lose a punt pass kick competition, we're $35 away.
$31 away. Also, somebody can join Mr. Rick on the helmet. Right now, Mr. Rick is our bang god for February. You send in a $50 super chat, you get your name on the sticker. Whoever sends in the most $50 super chats this month, you're going to win a custom New York Giants Now jersey.
Bang, bangity bang, say it bang, bang, bangity bang, 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 bang.
All righty, let's get into it. Mailbag time. It's mailbag time here on New York Giants Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. We're going to be answering questions from subscribers on today's show. So if we didn't get to your question, it's your own fault because it means you're not subscribed. So change it. Hit that big red button, and you might just get free Giants videos every single day. My man, Brian Ackerley, coming in with a $10 super chat. What's up, man? Thank you for the super chat. What do you want the Giants to do in free agency? When I talk about and think about what I want the Giants to do in free agency compared to the draft, I want the Giants to sign a proven veteran offensive lineman. And I think it makes a lot of sense for them to sign an interior offensive lineman. But I've also heard from a very, very reliable source that the New York Giants are heavily interested in signing right tackle Jermaine Illuminor from the Las Vegas Raiders. He was with them last year. That's where Carmen Bracilla was. Carmen Bracilla is now your offensive line coach for the Giants. So for me, my number one free agency ask of the Giants, Brian, is to establish and invest in your offensive line. Minimum, sign one starter. Minimum. Rob Jigga, what's up, man? Marshall, if the Giants go after recently released Cody Whitehair or that right tackle from the Raiders, is Joe Alt still an option at number 6? First off, I don't want the Giants to go out and pursue Cody Whitehair. Cody Whitehair is not a good football player anymore. And I'm just quickly looking up his Pro Football Focus grades. I'm not saying Pro Football Focus grades are the Bible, but when you talk about Whitehair and his Pro Football Focus football grades, they're not good. And they've gone down every single year for the last 6 years. His best days are behind him. He was graded under a 60 this year. I'm good on that. When it talks about signing Jermaine Illuminor, does that take Joe Alt off the board? Maybe, because you would have invested in that right tackle position, so maybe a little bit there. But Illuminor, good thing about him is he can play guard as well. He's played a lot of guard as well, so you can move him to guard, and you got to have Alt be your right tackle. It's going to be very, very interesting. Yardley, what's up? Thanks for the super chat. I'm so perplexed in this situation. Yes, I want a new QB, but at the same time, I want us to build a good team as well. And that's the end goal of everybody watching this show, right? They want to see the Giants get back to being on top, to get back to being one of the best organizations in this sport. You need a good quarterback, though. You need a good quarterback. And I just don't believe that Daniel Jones is good enough to get the Giants where me and you want them to be. And that is the most respectful way I can say that. Who is your dream pick at number 6 overall? If you had to wish on a star and say, I want this guy to be a Giant, who would it be? Is it Jane Daniels? Is it Drake May? Is it Caleb Williams? Is it Joe Alt? Is it Malik Neighbors? Is it Roma Dunze? Let me know. I want to hear from you. Mike, what's up? Thoughts on Spencer Rattler with Daboll, Allen 2.0. I've said on this channel time and time again, you can go back and check the tape. I said it over a month ago. Spencer Rattler is a player that I would love to see the Giants targets in round 3, 4, and 5. It's a guy that was a 5-star prospect coming out of high school. He was the number 1 projected pick in the NFL draft prior to him being beat out at Oklahoma by Caleb Williams, who is now the number 1 overall pick. Spencer Rattler, the day he walks into the NFL, will have a top 15 arm that's playing in the NFL. Does he have red flags? Yeah, absolutely. We know the red flags. But what I'm looking for in a quarterback that I'm selected in round 3, 4, and 5 is traits. And he has a lot of NFL traits that check the box in his game. Him with Daboll, I think makes a lot of sense. He helped a young, raw Josh Allen. I think you could do the same with Spencer Rattler, who just won the Senior Bowl MVP. Joe G, how much patience does John Mara and Steve Tisch have in Daboll, having another bad year to continue with him for a year 4? I think it's pretty safe to say that if the Giants are picking inside the top 10 again in 2024, that Brian Daboll will be relieved of his coaching duties. Not sure what that means for Joe Schoen, but I feel pretty confident that if John Mara sees this team struggling again, picking inside the top 10, more likely than not that Brian Daboll could be fired. Gilly, what's up? Can we get Penix in the second round? That kind of would be a dream for a lot of people, right? Because I'm a fan of Penix. I have him as QB 5 in this class. QB 5. I go Caleb Williams. I go Drake May, Jane Daniels, McCarthy, and then Penix. So if you can get QB 5 in round 2, I think that would help this team a lot. The thing that I like about Penix and why I think he's a good fit for the Giants, he can sit for maybe half a season and learn from Brian Daboll, learn how to be a professional quarterback, learn how to watch film, and then come in week 7, week 8, week 9 during the season if Daniel Jones falls off or they're just ready to pass the torch. But beyond that, I think he fits and aligns perfectly with how the Giants want to operate on offense. They want to throw the ball downfield. He is a vertical passing attack, and that's the scheme the Giants run. Kind of think it's a match made in heaven. Ska, what's up, man? Round 1 wide receiver, round 2 O-line, round 2 quarterback or BPA, round 3 Jay Wilson, LFG. I wouldn't be mad with that. You get a playmaker in round 1, offensive line round 2, quarterback or BPA round 2, and then another playmaker in round 3. Yeah, no defense, but this team needs offense. I would not hate that. Hey, you got first, second, third. You have 4 priority picks in this draft. We need 4 starters. Make sure you are subscribed with the NFL free agency cycle starting soon and the NFL draft right around the corner. I promise you. This is our 3rd offseason on the channel. Check the tape. Nobody will put out more content than we do. We'll be live for the draft. We'll be live for free agency. We'll be live if the Giants do anything. So subscribe, turn the notifications on, and become one of us. Antonio Jackson, what's up, man? Isaiah Simmons down to edge and pick up Patrick Queen. I'm a big fan of Isaiah Simmons. He's a jack of all trades, but I sometimes wonder if that kind of hurts him a little bit because he's not an A+ at anything. He's kind of a B- at just about everything. I actually want to see him come off the edge more, Antonio Jackson. Just that size, that speed, that strength, that athleticism, I think could help. For Patrick Queen, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for the Giants. You just gave Bobby Okereke a lot of money. You've hit on a pick in the 5th round and Micah McFadden. I don't think Lightning McQueen, Patrick Queen is a viable choice for the Giants. Juan Parada, what up, man? Think about it. All right, let me think about it. Wide receiver 1, Odunze or Neighbors. Wide receiver 2, Hyatt or Slayton. Wide receiver 3, Wandale in the slot. Tight end Waller. Running back Barkley with a new O-line via draft and free agency. Very important. New line. But the most important thing is who's throwing them the ball. Who's winning the Giants games on 3rd and long? Who's making a play on 3rd and 14 when your punter's getting loose and ready to go, and then your coach says, hold on, we just got a first down. I just don't believe that Daniel Jones is that guy. I'm sorry. I know that may make me seem negative, but actually, I think it means I'm positive because I want better, not settling for average. Zach Attack, 58. When were you done with Daniel Jones? For me, it was week 4. My first moment of the 2023 season where I started to question if Daniel Jones was the guy was when he threw the interception against the Dallas Cowboys where he rolled out to the right and he literally threw it to Stephon Gilmore like he was a receiver. And then when they played the Seattle Seahawks on Monday night and he threw a 104-yard pick 6 to Devin Witherspoon, where he stared him down the entire time, didn't even see him, that's when I was like, okay, maybe he just is what he is. That's kind of when I felt like I'm done with him. Aaron Seeley, what's up, man? I have heard that there may be a trade-up possibility with the Patriots. What do you think? I have also heard that, Aaron. I have heard a lot of rumors that if there is a team inside the top 5 to trade down, the New England Patriots are at the top of that list. There's been a lot of talk about the Patriots drafting a quarterback, but now there's a lot of talk about the Patriots drafting potentially an offensive lineman. So maybe they look to go somewhere else, trade down outside of the top 5, get some picks, build up that roster, new regime, Gerard Mayo leading the way. Ben McAdoo, I think, is also their offensive coordinator now. Shout out to him. Once a Giant, always a Giant. But, yeah, I've also heard the same thing. And if that's the case, Joe Schoen should be on the phone with New England trying to figure out if they can move up to 3 to go select one of those top 3 QBs. Senior offensive assistant, Ben McAdoo. Better than the offensive coordinator, that's for sure. We're going to get to more questions coming up in a second. But we've got some awesome news. If you go to chatsports.com/Giants hoodies, chatsports.com/Giants hoodies, you can get a Giants hoodie on sale. I'm a hoodie guy. They're comfy, you stay cool, you stay clean. Everyone likes putting the hood on a little bit. Stay cool, stay warm. You stay warm. You don't want to be cold. You stay cool, though. Check them out. They're on sale. Chatsports.com/Giants hoodies. Click the link, buy yourself a hoodie, and be a real one. Let's go. Johnson, a balloon and a number 1. I think he's trying to trick the system on being a first-time super chatter. We'll give it to him. Johnson, my man. Let's go, Mac Jones. This guy is such a troll. I am okay with not going out and getting Mac Jones. The Bronx boy, you motherfucker. Where he says, I don't want another Daniel Jones type question mark at QB. If you're going to get a QB in this draft, go for the 70 tutties and 10 picks. And I'm with you on that, the Bronx boy. I always say the Bronx boy, even though it's just Bronx boy. Yeah, I want the blue chip. I want the All-American. I want the phenom. I want that guy back there. I don't know if he's there for the Giants at 6. So maybe you just kick the can down the road and you make me and you watch games this year when they're punting on the season. Hope that's not the case. My man Vibes with a $20 super chat. What up, Vibes? Hey, Marshall, heard rumors that Drake May is going to fall in the draft. How much of this do you think is true? I do think that there has been a little bit of a change. I think Jaden Daniels is kind of the consistent consensus QB2 in this class. And about a month ago, it was Drake May was QB2. So maybe he falls from 2 to 3? Falls to 4, you better freaking call. You better call whoever's picking 4th. I forget who it is off the top of my head. Whoever's picking 5, Los Angeles Chargers. If he's on the board there, you better pick up the phone and call Harbaugh and go get him. I'm all in on Drake May. If he's sliding, if he's slipping and sliding down the draft board, Joe Schoen should slip and slide up the draft board and make a trade. That was corny. Johnson, coming with a $5 super chat. What if the QB we take turns into Bryce Young? Do we let Daniel Jones take over? Once you bench Daniel Jones and start your rookie quarterback, you do not look back. You do not look back. Also, I still believe Bryce Young's going to be good. He just might be playing for the worst franchise in the National Football League. Ricky Henderson. I love that name. Hernandez. Henderson would have been cool too, though. Hernandez. Gee, it's been a long day. Yeah, it's been a long day. If we don't get Joe Alt and move Neil to guard, I'm going to be highly disappointed. Ricky Hernandez? Why, and I'm not asking you, why do we think Evan Neal can be a good guard? Why? I think he has terrible balance. I think he's very soft at the punch point. I don't think he's athletic enough. I hope I'm wrong. I pray I'm wrong. I just think Evan Neal is a bust. Shit happens. Hank Pierce, can you give me a trade idea to trade up to 3 or 4? So Patriots at 3. So let's actually do this real quick. I will pull up my my little graphics sheet that I got here, and there was a trade last year that had the Chicago Bears move from 9 or go from 1 to 9. The Panthers went from 9 to 1, and the Panthers had to give up a 2023 first-round pick, 2 second-round picks, a 2024 first-round pick, a 2025 second-round pick, and DJ Moore. to get into the top 3 from 6, I think it's something very similar to that. You're 1 this year, you're 1 next year, and probably a 2nd this year and maybe a 3rd next year. I'm not sure you'd have to give a player of the profile to give DJ Moore, but at least 2 1s, a 2nd and a 3rd. I think that's what it would cost. Stephen Belinas, had to be really careful about reading that one. Saquon and X-Man used the money to sign Connor Williams and Bryce Huff. Thoughts? Stephen, you make really good points. But this is my point. And I've done a lot of internal thinking. And I'm trying to solidify my takes for the offseason. If the Giants' plan is to bring Daniel Jones back to be the starter, which Joe Schoen has hinted at multiple times, it would be a prison-like move to move on from Saquon Barkley. So you're telling me we're going to give Daniel Jones another chance. We're going to trot him out there with an opportunity to be the Giants' starting quarterback again, but we're going to remove the best offensive player we have around him? If you're going to give Daniel Jones another chance, you should be doing everything you can to keep Saquon Barkley. But maybe it's all just a smokescreen. I don't know. I like Connor Williams coming off torn ACL. I like Bryce Huff. We've talked about him on the channel. I think it's Saquon or X-Man will be back. I don't think both. Patrick Clark, $2 super chat. What's up, man? Why do player ranks change without games played? I'm assuming you mean through the draft process, and that's because people have more times to evaluate tape. They get to watch tape more. Because the longer you have, the more you get to evaluate. And you get to sit down. You get to meet these people. You get to have private workouts with them. You get to go with dinner with them. You get to talk with their coaches all the way back from middle school football. I think there's a lot you can learn about the player once games are over. They go to the NFL Combine. They go to the Senior Bowl. They go to their pro day. A lot can change. Scott Deribin. I hope that's right. I don't know. Hey, Marshy, do you think Drake May can fall to us in the first round? I pray Drake May can fall to us in the first round. Do I think there's a chance? Yeah. Poquito. If you made it this far in the video, that means you're a real one. So comment, real one, down below. Real one, roll call. Give me a real one down in the comment section. Wow. It's been a long show.
I believed in the Giants fans, and here we are, 24 away.
We are 24 away from our goal of the day of a punt, pass, kick competition.
First off, by the way, if we don't meet the goal of the day, we get in trouble.
Yeah.
So there's that for starters. The punt, pass, kick part is just like a bonus for us.
That's just us being some competitive SOBs.
A, we don't get shit on by our bosses. B, we can do a punt, pass, kick competition, and I can beat Marshall.
Oh, that ain't happened. That ain't here. I hear that. Shout out to everybody in the building. Joe G, Steven, LTD, Dale Roche. Let's go Giants. Mark Estrada, Cha, Giants for life. Ricky Hernandez. What did I say in the video?
You said Henderson, which is a baseball player.
And that's why I was like, I really like that.
Former athletics player. Yeah, really cool name.
Really cool name. Patrick Clark. Jason McMullen, what up, man? Appreciate you watching, Jason. Bronx boy says, Marsh, you're going to need a nap, brother. I'm trying to do it for the real ones.
Are we not going to get our deal?
Hazelnut says, if you're going to do it, man, you got to do it for Johnny. Johnny Mania? Do it for Johnny?
Minimal spillage.
I don't get it, Hazelnut 22. I feel like this is a movie quote of some sort, and I'm missing the boat.
I know do it for Donnie, like it Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
As Bill!
Hey, someone's trying.
Bill is getting us rolling. He sends in a $4 super chat. Says at least here's part of it to make it an even 20. We are 20 away.
Bill's doing his part.
And Bill will be a huge person who wants to watch this. He's a real one. Bill, I'm going to smoke Patrick Seatman in a pass, punt, kick competition. Sam Brown, on the other hand, I'll smoke him on the throw. He's got a leg of gold, though. He may beat me on the kick and the punt. Oh, Bill, we love you. We'll also post a video of it on the channel if we get there. We'll post a video of it as well. All righty, we've been live for 2 hours and 5 minutes. We're going to put Mamadou Canty with a a $20 super chat.
We're doing it.
We're doing it. We're doing it. What's our defense looking like next year? Formations, roster, and coaches. Formations, they are going to be a 3-4 defense. Roster, let me just pull it up for you.
Xavier McKinney's a free agent.
Xavier McKinney is a free agent. Probably should go to Pro Over the Cat for this, right? Unless they've already changed it on their site. I'm not sure. Yeah, they have not. They had
It's really all around who you got. Who do you have around Sexy Dexy?
Yeah. Can we get Sexy Dexy some help, please? All right. On the defense, we got Dexter Lawrence, Bobby Okereke, Kayvon Thibodeau, Rakeem Nunez Roches, Deontay Banks, Azeez Ojulari, Aaron Robinson, Cordell Flott, Carlos Boogie Basham, Dane Belton, Micah McFadden, DJ Davidson, Jason Pinnock, Jordan Riley, Trey Hawkins, Gervarius Owens, Tom and Fox, Ryder Anderson, and Darian Beavers. Names I did not say, but Dory Jackson, Xavier McKinney. Those are your two guys. Jihad Ward. Those are the 3 names, probably not the best. And coaches. Giants defensive coaches. We'll look that up for you as well.
Not Wink.
Not Wink.
Oh, I learned this last week. I didn't catch the news because I was working last week in Vegas for the Super Bowl. Shane Bowen.
Shane Bowen's
the DC.
Shane Bowen.
There you go. I know ball.
So you got Shane Bowen as your DC. On defense, you got Jerome Henderson, who's your defensive pass game coordinator and DB coach. Charlie Bullen is your outside linebacker coach. Ben Burris, defensive assistant. Brian Cox is your assistant D-line coach. John Igwuru.
You can't say Cox.
I know I'm saying that wrong, is your inside linebacker coach. Zach Core, your defensive assistant. Andre Patterson, my man, your defensive line coach. And Michael Trier, who is your safeties coach. And that's what we got.
Complete sidetrack. I just saw this on my Twitter. Tonight's game between Fairleigh Dickinson, who was a 16 seed last year and beat Purdue, and Long Island University at LIU is in a delay because FDU players are stuck in an elevator coming from the locker room to the court.
What?
Firemen are on scene right now trying to get players out of the elevator. And that's another day in college basketball for you.
That is ridiculous.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt the Giants talk.
No.
That was too funny. I had to say it out loud.
Mamadou, thank you, brother. Thank you for the love. Joe G, here's 2 more. Joe G, that's mad love. Shout out to you guys. And then Mark Estrada. I have Sam Brown to win.
Good answer. Good answer, Mark. I like the confidence there. You have the right pick. This is a good value play because I think at first glance, Marshall's maybe the betting favorite just because he played flag football and has the arm. But people have to realize the thighs that I have right here. These tree
what is
trunks.
what is our official? We'll find that out.
I'm thinking I can punt this thing 40 yards.
But are we all,
I can launch it another 40, and by then I'm just kicking it a college extra point.
So do you have to make the PAT?
Yeah.
That's how you do it? Okay.
Yeah. If you miss the extra point, like you lose the whole thing.
Unless all 3 miss, and then it's the closest.
Yeah. Then
okay.
well, I think if all 3 miss, then we should just run it back.
Run it back? I think it's closest to the pin.
Closest to the pin is a little hard to judge.
This dude really thought I was lying when I said I fucking throw the ball 7. That's disrespectful. Check the tape.
I believe it.
Check the tape. I can't anymore.
I believe it. I just think you might accidentally punt backwards. Because there's definitely a non-zero chance of that.
There's definitely a non-zero chance of that. B. Baloli, what up, man? My guy B. Baloli showing up to the chat. That's a chat sports legend right there. Shout out to you guys. All right, we've been live for 130 minutes on today's show.
Nice math.
130 minutes.
Go.
Sean Clowney in the building. What up, Mr. Rick? How does it feel to be the Bang God? How does it feel? Sean Clowney, what's good, bro?
I wish I knew.
Who's producing today? My man Sam Brown. Sam Brown, longest tenured producer at Chat. Well, second longest tenured producer at Chat Sports.
Oh, I guess you can
Brett
count
Scott.
that. Yeah, sure.
I guess we'll give it to
We'll
Brett.
give him that. Producer's not in his job title, but I think we can allow it.
The Bronx Boy says we should run like this every week. Hey, live shows are back for the off season. We're rocking and rolling. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, man. Audience was great all day. Over 3,000 people tuned in. These have been doing great. Reminder, if you send in a $10 super chat, you enter the raffle to win this custom Giants Now football. It'll be raffled off at the end of February. Look at the grip on that. You think I'm losing to Sam Brown to punt?
Camera 1, camera 2, camera 3.
The other thing that I was going to do, Sam, but I didn't think we had the devices, was some sort of like accuracy passing drill. But I don't know where we were going to find like the net and stuff like that.
I feel like we could like
maybe we'll do that next time.
Hit up some local high schools, tell them like, hey, have you ever heard of YouTube?
Have you heard of the YouTube?
We're on that thing.
All righty.
Biggest Giants channel on YouTube.
Oh man, no cap. Of the channels on YouTube to only post New York Giants content, this is the biggest one. That's because of you guys. Love you guys. We'll see y'all later. Let's go Big Blue.